Hello, everybody. No screaming this time. No shouting. No. Your boy's a little under the weather this week. Thanks in part to the bullshit I did at the start of the cast last week. Don't ask me how that works. My voice is made of paper mache and bullshit. It's the best way I can think to put it. So, we're good. I may sound a little off. That's fine. You're all gay. I want you all to know that. The featuring list is wrong to the better half of my knowledge, because this week, for the 8th of, what month is it? September 2017, I only have one compadre in the sesh for now. And that is BioPokey. Pokey.
Oh.
Marku.
Shit. Why'd you gotta wake me up in my dungeon?
Moshi.
Why are you talking to me?
Hey, am I talking to me? Am I talking to me? Yeah.
Do you see my lips flapping?
Yes.
Alright. So I have the stream muted.
Good.
Tell me, where am I slipping on in with this combobation?
You know, we're just saying hello. We're just greeting
Hi.
the people. I'm just putting your name on the cast call so that everybody knows where to follow you on Twitter. There you go. Congratulations, we're in it and of it.
Follow me. I promise you'll hate me within minutes.
I promise you'll want to neck yourself. But
Yeah.
Dax will be in a little bit later. He's doing some shit. But
He's
for now-
playing gay.
Yeah, the two of us have to hold down the fort. You know, we got to be out here with my fucking... Just hope these storms don't knock out my Ethernet cable. Because that would be depressing. But that's okay. It's fucking weird, dude. We've been getting storms lately. Like, every night for the past, like, 3 or 4 days, it's been like thunder and rain. In very short bursts, it's been bullshit. Because we don't get that here. We don't get fun. We don't get water.
No, yeah, we we here on the East Coast, we like to hog all your water and make fun of you, and then we like to take that water and then balloon it into these massive swollen hurricanes, and then we just like to drown ourselves in that shit.
It's quite gluttonous, actually.
It's a privilege, and you won't know.
So the East Coast is definitely on the wider side of the South Park difficulty scale, is what you're telling me. Okay.
Yep.
Just want to make sure. All right. So Pokey, were you on last week? Were you?
No,
because you were still feeling ill. You had the YUNG the ear infection. Yeah.
That's something I get on almost a yearly basis around roughly August and September.
Okay.
It managed to miss me last year, which I was very thankful for. But yeah, definitely not my first one in my adult life. Not sure why I get them. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, that's a thing. Just saying my volume's a bit intense.
I got you. I've been lowering it. I've been modulating.
Oh, modulate that shit.
I've been rolling several D20s. Try to figure out where to put your shit.
How did you disperse your special?
I didn't. Well, I'm not there yet. I'm still rolling. For
I put everything in
strength.
strength.
I put everything in...
All my dialogue options
I'm a bard. I put everything in strength, though. My special is, I put everything into luck.
Wow, what an asshole. Alright, so... yeah, beer infection. As far as like what I may or may not have been playing, that Byung Bayonetta. Been enjoying that. Man, I still retain that I feel like the timing on some of these things feels so much more fucking different than it did on the Wii U. I don't know, do you agree with me there?
I could see that being a thing. Thing is, like, I didn't put in that much time on Bayo on console to really have a solid portion of muscle memory. Like, every time I go back to it, I'm more or less relearning the game for the most part every time I pick it up again.
Yeah.
because I just don't have active training sessions with it that much, so I don't know. But I could see that being a possibility. Like, if it's based off of frame timing and the game is actually running at a consistent rate, then yeah, that would affect it.
That's what I'm assuming, because, like, you know, the game's running at 60 FPS now rather than fucking 10, and or, you know, fucking fluctuating between 30 and 60 as it was on the Wii U. And yeah, I don't know, just if like my pause combos come out quicker, I'm not complaining about that.
The window for them is a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And it's strange. Like, I still am not fully comfortable with Bayo 1 pause combos on PC. Like light heavy, or not light heavy, punch kick rather.
Yeah.
Was one that I did quite a bit for Mission 2. And that one, like, I know that one, but some of the Shiraba ones are a little weird. I don't know.
I think the one Shiraba pause combo, punch pause, punch got a hell of a lot easier because of that quickerness. Like, you know, just like, oh yeah, slash. Now I have like no worry about being vulnerable, and then go into it again, and then it finishes the pause combo. So I definitely applauded on that end. But yeah, no, I've been working on that because you and I got a thing coming up eventually at some point. And we can get some cooperative recording done. So that's why I've been touching on Bayonetta again. It definitely isn't just for the sake of just normal fun, because I already invested like 70 to 80 hours in Bayonetta on the Wii U, and I'm the kind of guy that after I hit the 50-hour mark in most beat 'em ups, I'm like, I'm good. I'm really good. You know, I had my time. I really enjoyed my you know, I don't regret the time spent on there. RPGs, obviously, I can invest a hell of a lot more time on, just because that's the nature of their, you know, of those specific games.
Right.
But, you know, I haven't really been going back to Bayonetta for fun, but I've been going back and having fun, so that's nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I mean, outside of also playing some vanilla WoW with a girlfriend, that's really all
Oh, she moved on to the private server now.
Yes.
Good. Thank God. Bless the fuck up, brother.
Yeah, we tried 2 days worth of retail for the latest patch that came out, where you go to Argus.
Right.
And holy shit, is it boring. My God. Fuck, it is boring.
So what is it? Okay, what does it actually look like? I've not seen any of the patch preview footage. Does it at least look cool?
It looks like a lot of black and green, I'll tell you that.
Oh, so it looks like Legion, dude. Hell yeah, exactly. We did it. Fuck.
We did it. Okay, so basically picture this.
Uh-huh.
Picture Azure Mist Island, which I'm sure you're familiar with, right?
Yeah.
Picture Azure Mist Island. Now picture all of the really cool autumn and like sort of silver duskish colors that it had. Sap that and replace it all black and green. Lots of cracked rocks, and bam, you did it. You got Argus.
I think I hate Blizzard.
Look, I will learn to love them again if they follow my suggestion, where if they take the Overwatch characters and then put them into like a mixed extreme sports game. Give me surfing, snowboarding, inline skating. By the way, there's a new inline skating game that came out recently. It's called Roll On or something. I can't remember. Or like,
oh, so this isn't Revolt, Revenge of Gamers, or whatever the fuck.
No. Hover. Yeah. Hover Revolt of Gamers. That one I still have to put more time in. They actually They put more optimization into it recently. I heard the frame rate got a hell of a lot more consistent, so I have to go back and check that out. Yeah. But yeah, there's another one called On a Roll, and that's an indie inline skating game. I'm not sold on it just yet because first of all, it's early access, and secondly, it is a simulation skating game as opposed to an arcade skating game.
Okay.
So. You know me, that's the reason why I don't like SSX 2012, is because it chose for, you know, to be heavily based on physics dictating your your snowboarder's movement rather than you and your own inputs.
Right.
So, you know, I'll give it a shot eventually one day when it's done.
Fair enough.
So that's what I've been up to. Aside from, I think I might have seen bad movies. Oh no, I should mention this too.
I might have seen bad movies.
I haven't seen a bad movie yet, although soon there will be Ghost in the Shell 2017.
Wait, really?
Yes. That's going to be a movie night, by the way, if you want to join in on that eventually.
It'll depend on if I have like school or work or something like that. I might not, depending on what it is. We still need to do the Naruto movie night.
Yeah. Oh, I'm down for that.
I'm so down for it, dude.
specifically to watch anything that's good from Naruto, I'm all for that. Yeah.
Well, we're starting off with the pain fight. We gotta, because you gotta have the comparison point.
Well, yeah, I mean that's just fucking funny anyway.
You gotta have the unintentional comedy.
I'll consume the bad animation. That though, fucking, I've been getting back into Gundam fucking MS.
Eighth MS team, yeah.
Yeah, holy shit! So I've watched the series all the way through only once, way back when I was like 14 or 15.
Right.
Because this is way back when it premiered on Toonami, and I loved it. And I always thought it was funny that they also in the promo for Toonami they have the scene where the goof stabs a tank and the blood spurts up, but in the actual show itself, because it was premiered it was being played around like 6 o'clock in the afternoon in the evening, right. That was cut out, so they never put that death scene in there. But it was in the promo that played during the day. It was there, but in context they removed it. Anyway, so now that I have the collection of episodes again and I'm going through it, first of all, holy shit, I'm appreciating 8th MS Team on a whole brand new level. I'm loving it more now than I did back then. There's some things about it I hate more now than I did back then, especially understanding like more full context of it, but I won't get into that. I mean, all I'll say, like, just for the sake of it being a spoiler, I won't say it, but it's romance related and it feels so fucking unearned. God, I hate it. But there's that. But yeah, there's all sorts of really fucking cool details in here, like when Sanders is reaching for a rifle in his Gundam, they show a pin connector in the palm of his Gundam because it's just showing like how it grips it, hooks up to like the electronic interface of the rifle. That's just so fucking cool. Just details like that. Oh man, I gush for that fucking show. It has some of the best art. Oh man. Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
I need to give fucking Gundam a shot. As far as me, I've also been doing a couple of odd sessions of DMC4, just more practice shit. I finished rewriting the training mode script, which was originally the debug mode script. Now it's been retooled. Yeah. The only issue is that because I'm sick, I can't record. So yeah. I need to give that a couple minutes. I should be fine. It's just fucking. I'm not like ill. I'm not dying. It's just fucking. My nose is blocked up, and that's fucking my shit up. But no promises. There are camel spiders. But also doing a little bit of Bayonetta 1. That game fucking pisses me off. I fucking hate the flaming enemies. Oh god. And it wouldn't be so bad if like there was a move. Like, if only Bayonetta's punch with, like, Shiraba and the guns didn't involve her stepping forward, I would be so okay with that. Because you'll think you'll be in a good footsie spot where you can just press it and start something and be fine. And just, like, build up a dial combo from where you're at. And then she just steps a little bit too far forward, hitboxes touch, and she's just like, oh, there goes the pure plat. Thanks, dude. Solid. So, and that's, like... The Alfheim I have to do for chapter 6 has it starts out with flaming enemies and it's fucking whack. But that's going on. Did a little bit more training of Transformers. I'm waiting to just record that chapter. Just to be fucking done with it because it's a really shitty chapter. It's the one where you've played it, where like Starscream is in the there's no floor and you're in the space tunnel. Space bridge and there's no lock on, so just the camera just tells you to eat dicks. It's beautiful. It's a great fight, really, especially with Grimlock, who does no fucking damage. Really good, solid shit, bud. And
thank you, Grimlock.
Thank you, Grimlock. I have a bit of a story. So, my father, who came home, bought an Oculus Rift. So, your boy is officially in the VR age.
You are in the future, my dude.
I am in... like, everybody's in 2017. I'm in 3017, dude. It's so... The future is fucking whack.
I swear to fucking God, I hope you can get that fucking, that hentai game.
Oh, where the dude's getting cucked? Where he cucks himself?
He cucks himself, yeah.
Oh, that WebM was fucking great.
Oh, it was classic.
But so with Rift, there's like a bit of an introductory little game that they give you where you're in like a fucking trailer or something like that, and there's a little robot. It's like a research facility or some shit. And he's like conjuring up these little, they're not quite floppy disks, but they're like, okay, imagine a thick floppy disk that doesn't flop.
Okay.
So it's basically like a fucking floppy
sandwich disk.
Sort of. It's more like a hard drive meets a Nintendo DS cartridge.
All right, I see that now. Yeah.
So, and it's like you put it into a little VCR thing, and it just 3D prints whatever the fuck was on the cartridge. So, like, he gives you this little robot. It looks like Wall-E. It's weird, but he flies. And like he waves at you, and you're supposed to wave back at him, and you do, and it works. Fucking like there's a skill ceiling to interacting with the robot.
Thank God.
And like there's like a little bottle rocket thing. It's fucking weird. I haven't put as much time into it as my father. My father got it for flight sims, so he's been playing Elite Dangerous and another flight sim with VR. And I got a chance to try Elite Dangerous with VR because I bought Elite Dangerous off of like, I don't know why. I think it was because of Ian's recommendation I picked it up.
Probably.
And I tried it with mouse and keyboard, and it doesn't feel right. Bearing in mind I grew up playing Mech Warrior 3 and 4 on like an actual joystick.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different fucking feeling.
Okay.
Got that shit. And so my dad has like a full like throttle and joystick setup that's USB with like foot pedals and shit like that. So you get hooked into the VR shit with the flight sim in Elite Dangerous, and it completely changes it. Just like when I first played it, I thought it would be the type of game that really needs a joystick to feel proper, and I was fucking dead on. It feels so much fucking better. So much fucking more natural. It's crazy. And
I hear the dev team behind Elite Dangerous sort of like focused on the passion of getting the most out of your simulation experience.
Yeah, and it works.
Yeah.
And like the thing that's crazy about VR that like is so obvious but you don't really think about it as much is that like you can just look around.
Yeah.
Like you are your own camera control, and that did give me like, so the games I played were the VR tutorial thing, basically, with the robot. Lucky's Tale, which was another package game, and Robo Recall, which was the like time splitters or whatever. It's like the railgun.
Yeah.
Version.
I've seen it on the like the 2017 Hall of Fame in terms of ratings.
That game's a bit of a trip.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some shit to it. So like you can reposition yourself. Like, it's not like walking, and I think that's something that a lot of VR games are going to have to sort of deal with. Like, when I was playing Lucky's Tale, you move the little guy with the analog stick, and it's just like a very basic, like, 3D Mario-esque platformer. Like, you kill enemies by jumping on them and shit.
Yeah.
Very fundamental, but, like, if you were to look around and look behind you, you can see just, like, you can see the environment, basically. And in some of the underground stages, if you turn around, you see, like, just a black skybox because it's really just meant to be a 2D section. It's interesting. Like, it's really cool to see how they make some of this shit. Like, approaching it from that angle has been really fun for me. And for Robo Recall, it's surprisingly fun. I don't know when I'm going to get another chance to play it, because it's not like something that I'm really itching to do. But I did say, after playing Elite Dangerous, that if there were to ever be a Mech Warrior, or equivalent, it doesn't necessarily, but I want it to be a sim. If there were to be a mech sim that comes out, and it fucking is that sick, I'm in. Bearing in mind, that's like a serious fucking money investment, and I don't really have the space for it in my room necessarily, but it really was. It felt future. It felt future as fuck. But it felt different.
You bring up mechs.
Yeah.
And we all know that Capcom could fucking cash in on that with the what was that mech game called? The one with the fucking giant controller? Steel Battalion.
Steel Battalion, yeah.
Yeah, like, has that happened yet? Have they not done that?
Here's the
yet?
thing.
I know that there was like a sequel that was weird or some shit.
The thing is that all of this shit is meant to sort of, as far as mechs go, is they're trying to be competitive with the old BattleTech pods.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's been any... Okay, tell a lie. The closest the Steel Battalion ever got was that fucking Kinect game.
Oh, I forgot about the Kinect game. Jesus, that's
and it was
I knew there was a shitty sequel. That was the one.
It was buns, and like it's fucking terrible. Like, the main issue that I really like with me as I am as a player, there's some interesting dexterity elements to it, especially with Robo Recall, because how it works, I don't know if you've played it, but what you're basically doing is you're reaching down or reaching behind your shoulder, more or less, to pick up like different types of weapons. And it's like a dual-wield setup. And you have like 20 shots to a pistol, 3 shots to a shotgun. I don't know if there are any other weapons. But as soon as you run out of ammo, you're basically trying to... you throw the weapons away, and then you reach for other ones. They respawn, basically.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the way that you grip with Oculus is like there's little nubs on the like where your middle finger sits on a controller. There's a little button there and you hold it down to grip shit. And when like I was surprised how many times like I thought my middle finger was off it and my ring finger was still slightly covering it, so I wasn't letting it go for some reason. So there's this strange dexterity learning curve where you have to like position yourself and your fingers in a certain spot depending on your hand size, almost like you're playing guitar in a sense, which is cool. I like how there's a curve to it, and there's like shit you can do with it once you get more comfortable with it that you previously couldn't. It is, in my opinion, different. It's not. I don't think I would ever see it as like a mainstay thing in the same way that Devil May Cry or most fighting games are for me. It's certainly more of a casual element, but it's different in a way that's really cool. The only problem is obviously the pricing.
Oh yeah.
Like, especially if you want a full like sim setup, like you got to get a fucking separate, setup for your fucking joystick and throttle or whatever. It's just it's a lot of peripheral accessory shit to get into something that I don't even really know how much lasting appeal it's going to really have. What I do want to try though is that Killing Floor game. Killing Floor Extraction or whatever, or Incursion. Yeah,
I remember seeing the
Excursion.
The preview for that a while ago. Yeah,
that looked like a really fucking that looked like a really fucking solid like horror-ish game, because when they demoed it, he was just a lone dude in a fucking he was like a lone dude at the start of the outbreak in a fucking house.
Yeah,
and at the like you can really see how in VR the horror shit starts to work a little bit more effectively. Because like there's in Robo Recall at the very start, the whole premise is like the robots are getting infected with some bullshit, and when it starts, you're just a dude on a street looking at a news program in a window, and like there are a bunch of robots around you, like you can look around yourself and see them standing around you. And they're, like, more of them are starting to, like, walk in, and they're fine at the moment, but then something goes wrong, and then they all turn immediately. And then they all turn and look directly at you. And some of them are outside in your peripheral vision. It's interesting because you see it, you don't see it projected on a screen, you see it as yourself in the center of a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I think that's fucking sick. It's just a matter of, like, again, whether or not it's going to be worth it in the future.
It's difficult to say, yeah.
Like, for me, like I said, the mech thing is really what I'm banking on, because, like, Elite Dangerous was cool, but... And here's another thing that Oculus, I think, could do with a bit of sorting out, is that I wear glasses. I don't have contacts. So putting the goggles on isn't necessarily a big deal, but depending on how they're sitting on your face, the goggles can actually be pushing like if they sit at a wrong angle, this happened to me last night, they can start to push the lens onto your face in a way that's just sort of noticeable and uncomfortable. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And
put it on my face.
I want to put it on your face, buddy.
I'll cream your face, dude.
So,
oh yeah, brother.
And the thing is, it's not like they're not meant for. It's just a matter of scale. So I don't really know if there's like a thing in the goggles that you can adjust. So you didn't really get that far because he doesn't wear glasses, so it's not that big of an issue for him. I don't know. I'll have to fucking fuck with it. I do know though that PlayStation VR has like a fucking mech sports game.
Oh yeah, I remember that was one of the most disappointing announcements from that French presentation, if you recall that shit.
Yep, because it was I remember the sad because they have these six.
That was the same presentation where when people were talking about when they showed the Bloodborne thing and everyone's like and then they showed Detroit
and everybody got hype as
fuck. Oh my god,
it was so bad. That game is now on Steam. Fuck off. Oh, does it work with Oculus? I'll give it a shot.
Oh, it wasn't even a PlayStation exclusive, really?
Well, this was back in the time period when fucking exclusives weren't shit. Exclusives don't exist. Exclusives are a meme, boy.
We're still in that time period.
Hey. You're right.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm gonna go check the Steam store. I'm gonna look at the VR shit.
Yeah, go ahead. But yeah, that's more or less what's been going on with that. There's not really much else to it as far as what I've been doing. Just, I mean, you know, checking shit out as it goes. I like it though. If anybody's on the fence about VR, find a demo kiosk. Because it's fucking ludicrous to go on a guess effectively.
A several $100 guess, yeah.
You have the Oculus, right?
Yeah.
So there's Oculus, there's PSVR, there's
HTC Vive or Vive.
Vive, yeah. That's the super fucking dank ass like 1K.
That's a super gay one.
Yeah.
I think there might be somebody. Hold on. So Dax, I need you to hold down the fort. I think someone's at the door. Uno momento, por favor. So what have you been up to, bud?
Been chilling. I've just been I've been really fucking picky about my recording quality lately because I haven't done one of these fucking video thingamabobs in so long. I don't really remember how I had things set. I can't quite get it to sound quite the same, but I think it's fine as is. Just getting the recording done for a new vid, so I'm gonna try to work on that a little bit.
Is your issue the reverb, or is it like your own like stage fright while recording?
No. It's just like it's not coming out as quite as crisp as I had it in my previous recordings, and almost feels like there's kind of this layer of like a fuzz or something over it. But I think it's what I've been doing here is that I've been sitting down, and I think I might have been talking quieter because I can't remember how I did it before, and I think I might have I just actually finished up a take where I stood up and I belted it more, and I think that helps. Because I lowered the gain and I got a little bit closer, and I just spoke a lot louder, and kind of forced it instead. Because I think I'm just getting ways my natural bass is sort of overpowering it. So I think it's just a matter of enunciation.
Your bassy testosterone.
Yeah. So I kind of have to yell it a little bit more so the other tones come out more than the bass, and then I can actually add bass in post and control it better. So I think it's fine. I gotta edit all that together and have fun. But yeah, been doing that, and sorry, I'm watching Manat and I'm distracted.
How your script for that particular video has it come along since I last read it, or is it still the same from?
It's close to this. Which version did I give you? Did I give you 2 or 3? I don't know. This is like number 4, but it's I don't know. I've changed. Even like today, I changed a couple things around. So I don't know. Yeah. I think it's fine. But it's pretty good. I have a funny little intro thing going on. I make fun of World of Warcraft.
Oh, well, I mean, it deserves it.
I make fun of World of Warcraft.
That means I'm a cool kid. But yeah, it's been
Wowzer fags.
Working on yeah, you're faking gay. But yeah, doing that, and yeah,
Oh shit!
Hmm.
You know, I just realized you can get Res Infinite and play that on your fucking Oculus.
Right.
Quest.
You correct. You factual.
That would probably be one of the more worthwhile experiences.
No. Play Thumper.
I'm thinking about playing Thumper.
Play Bumper.
I'm thinking about playing Bumper.
I'm playing Bumper.
I'm playing Bumper.
Get lit. Get really lit. And play Bumper.
And play Thumper.
Welcome to the Smodcast.
You just fucking load the game and you're like, I'm gonna have a nice little time with this music game. Just
with your host Kevin Smith, and Kevin Smith.
Oh yeah.
Do not try this unless you were a real Trailer Park Boy.
It's my favorite Ed and Eddie spinoff.
Trailer Park Boys, yeah.
Kevin.
Alright. So, that shit out of the way. Wasn't here for what Dax has been up to, but it doesn't matter because he's gay.
It's fine.
Boom.
Hey.
Oh no. He was a Londoner or was he Canadian? I can't even remember.
Oh no, he was a South Londoner. Oh yeah, that's a thing they do. If anybody's ever watched fucking one of those Street Fighter events that they have in London, I forget who it is. It might be Logan, WSO Logan, but just one of the commentators always goes, "Doroy! Doroy!" He's the whitest fucking... It doesn't even fucking matter. He just lets it rip. He lets her rip like a fucking Beyblade, dude. It's beautiful. So, Dax, it's a good thing that you're here. It's really good that you're here.
Oh.
Because, you know, I would like to actually hold a moment of silence. Believe it or not, because, let me go investigate really quickly, because we have lost a dear, very dear brother in arms. You know, it's you know, it's always sad when, as a food reviewer, as a serious food connoisseur, you see something that is just so beautiful, so perfect, so excellent, simple in concept, and simple in execution, but it is so delicious and affordable, and it has been smitten, it has been taken from us. I am referring to nothing else other than the Taco Bell Beefy Potato Rito. Dax, I would like to put Taco Bell on Sangrita Blast for a moment, because they have decided to remove one of the best menu items, one of the best ideas that they've had since Baja Blast. In recent, like, since the doors to Taco Bell opened in 1876. And they came out with Baja Blast in 1877. It took until 2017 for the next great idea, and it was the Taco Bell Beefy Potato Rito. And it's gone. Dax himself confirmed last night, or was it last night? So talk to me.
Two nights ago. Two nights ago. Here's the thing. I'm gonna try not to cry. Here's the thing. I drove to Taco Bell, and I pulled up. It was around the good old 12:25, 12:30 in the morning.
Okay, I'm listening.
Pulled up.
Okay.
And I'm looking. It's like, man, they have some new signs in the window. That's neat. They got some new little advertisements. You know,
okay.
I keep up with what the locals community is doing. You know.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Pull up, and I'm looking at the menu because sometimes I like to scour it a little bit. It's like I know what I'm getting, the beefy potato Rito. But
yeah.
But you know, I like to see what's going on with the young Taco Bell. And I look and I'm like, you know, it's funny because the menu looks a little bit different. I wonder, out of curiosity, where that potato Rito is on the menu. I guess they must have they must have given it before it was in the primetime advertising slot. You know, they're really pushing it, but now it's probably just, you know, a random menu label, normal item. You know, your number 5, your number 7, right next to right up there with the Crunchwraps and the Gorditas and. Yeah, and all that. It's
other
like,
shit that doesn't matter.
I'm looking at it. It's like it's not there. That's weird.
Okay.
Guy comes up. He's like, hey, you know, what would you like to order? And I was like, oh man, what's up, Matt? You know, I know him because, you know, I go there all the time. And I'm like, hey, Matt. You know, I'm not You know, and I kind of stop, and I'm like, you know what? I'm probably just overthinking it. Honestly, they probably if I go to the opposite side of the menu, you know how they flip it sometimes because they do that weird shit. It's probably over there. Not going to worry about it. Hey Matt, give me 6 potato Ritos, please.
Uh-huh.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry, that limited time deal's over. I'm sorry, what did you just say?
No.
He's like, that was a limited time thing. We don't have any potato Ritos right now.
It's not true.
And I'm looking at it, and I like a single, like, you know that old advert where the guy throws the trash out of the car window and the Native American looks at the screen and a tear rolls down his cheek.
Yeah.
That was me. I'm just looking out my window at this speaker, like a man just came to my door and said your dog just died, and a tear is just rolling down my cheek. I'm like, you can't be serious.
Masaka.
It's like, yeah, Masaka Yamado. And I was like, okay, and so I'm just like, give me beefy 5 later, and I'm just, I can barely even fucking make a sentence, and I get my food or whatever. It's acceptable. It's acceptable, and I'm rolling out. I loaded Discord on my phone so quick, went up in there yelling. I was heated.
Yeah, he was angry.
I wanted to crash head on every fucking light pole I came across.
He was suicidal that day.
I was so upset. So yeah, it's gone. It's gone. It was limited time. I didn't know that.
Taco Bell! You had the good shit! And you gonna lose on a good bitch! I would have given you all the money I had. Every day. It was. I told you that
we should have stocked up. I should have bought 1,000 of them. I should have spent $1,000 for 1,000 beef.
And that's why it was so good. It was one. So it was $1. It was such good value. It was such good value.
It was a perfect portion.
It was beautiful. Get a little bit of the Diablo sauce.
I don't want this giant fucking, like, the size of the blackest cock I've ever seen burrito. I just want a fucking thing that I can eat. I can hold it.
Comfortably. Delicious.
And it's like, if I want another one, I'll pick it up and I'll eat it. If I don't, I'm good. I don't get a third through it and then feel bad if I have to throw it away because it was like $4.
They're not bite-sized necessarily. They're not pizza rolls. They're like 3 bite-sized.
Right.
It's beautiful. It's perfect. It's symmetrical.
And it's gone.
The golden rotate. Look at this. Look at where the fuck is it? Where the fuck is it? I'm looking. It's bullshit. It was the same day. Dax, you were there. You saw the polls when Baja Blast lost to Pitch Black.
I'll never forget.
When Baja Blast was the Bernie Sanders. When it got Hillary Clinton. When
Baja Blast got put on blast.
Everybody knew it won the popular vote. But Donald Black won. It's bullshit. It's not fair. Here it is. Where is it? It's not here. I'm gonna keep looking. Dax, I'm not okay with this. I'm not happy.
Never been okay.
I'll never be.
So when you eventually write your book discussing the fall of the potato Rito,
yeah,
are you gonna blame Bernie Sanders?
Of course. You know, it doesn't matter that I like. Okay, what is Bernie Sanders mean?
Here's the thing. I'm gonna blame game journalism. Blame Gamergate. Gamergate took away my potato Rito.
And then they brought Trump into your life.
I did.
They really did. So if you look here, it's super important that everybody observes what's going on right now. So we don't keep the aspect ratio because we don't need that shit. Boom. Boom. If you just observe what is happening here, you see it and you know that this picture adheres perfectly. Wait, let's zoom in. Let's zoom and enhance. Boom. It's beyond excellent. The potato Rito was perfect. And they just got rid of it.
Wow, it really is the perfect golden ratio.
It was the perfect potato ratio. It was the beefy potato ratio.
Potato ratio. The golden beefy potato ratio.
And they fucking removed it. I'm just so fucking pissed. I want to call Taco Bell one of these days. and ask them what the fuck they... Because that wasn't even that long of a promotional run. That was for like a month. And they get rid of it? That's bullshit. Fuck cops. Fuck Latif. Fuck DACA. They deserve to get removed. Take away my beefy potato Rito. See you dreamers back in your own countries.
The oldest article I could find, because I wanted to make sure, and yeah, they all say limited time. I don't know how the fuck I missed this.
Where the fuck was that asterisk?
I never
saw that shit.
All the articles say limited time.
Why the fuck does putting Frito motherfucking Lays in a burrito
hate that
live
shit.
And this dies? A potato is at least a thing. It's a food group. Your Frito Chalupa or whatever the fuck is bullshit.
Yeah, these articles, they're all from like the end of July.
Fucking faggots.
So it went on from the end of July to so like a month and a half.
It's not long enough.
No.
It's nowhere near long enough.
Limited time food promos are like that's like a season. That's like a 3.5 month deal minimum. And you put that on your fucking menu.
I'm so mad. It's okay though. Fuck Taco Bell. It's alright. Because now we get to move on from something sad to something that matters.
Does it really? Compared to that?
I mean, nothing can fill...
We could just end the cast.
Nothing can fill the hole in my soul, Dax. Nothing can. But, you know, in truth, it's okay. I think we'll be all right. Because here's the thing. Okami HD. There have been some rumors, the rumor mill. I call Korea the rumor mill. The Korean rating system, I don't know what it's called. I call it Korea. Korea has posted ratings apparently for HD editions of Okami for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this can only mean one thing.
Good video games are coming down the pipeline. They're going to be on PC. That's what really matters. Odd that it's missing from Switch.
Is it, though?
Yeah, because apparently one of the versions that a lot of people... Now, mind you, I'm going to stipulate this. All hearsay for me. Because I've not actually played Okami. I've not played it on PS2, though I want to. And I wanted to back in the day, but I just never got around to it. I wanted to play it on Wii, but I hate ever having my Wii hooked up, so I never did. And I never wound up buying it for the PS3 because I hate using the PS3 digital store. So really, it just was a matter of me never getting around to it. Now here it is. It's coming out on Xbox One, PS4, and also PC. Now, you know, obviously when it comes on PC, I'm gonna fucking snatch that shit ASAP. Odd that it didn't come out on Switch though, because there are a few people I've spoken to. This isn't a blank statement, but there are a few people I've spoken to who genuinely prefer the Wii's controls in terms of like the painting mechanic and shit like that. And given that, you know, you can use the Joy-Cons as Wiimotes in a sense,
right?
It just seems odd that they didn't opt for that. Even more so the fact that we got LA Noire on the Switch and not Okami. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining that LA Noire is going to be on Switch. I think that's fucking cool, but Okami?
I mean,
being omitted? That's just so weird.
You know, that's just, I don't know. This obviously isn't super duper confirmed. I mean, I don't know what purpose they would have for posting this for Korea early, but
it might be some sort of North Korean sort of like,
yeah,
I don't know, like a misdirect, you know, like we start focusing on like, holy shit, Capcom's making some good decisions, and that's what's going to blind us to the eventual nuke that is going exactly for your house, exactly for my house, exactly for Dax's house.
I'm okay.
We're already dead. We don't even know it. Yeah, pretty. Yeah,
I'm okay with this. I'm not that. You know, I'm not fucked. I don't give a fuck.
Nah, I hear you.
Just do it, pussy. Do it, pussy.
Nah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
That's not about the nuke. That's about Okami coming to PC. Do it, pussy.
Well, okay, never mind. I was hoping to get my death wish.
I can't wait. It'll be good. I hope it comes out, and I hope it comes out soon. Ratings for this shit, like, I hope that thing's on its way, like, tomorrow.
Oh, sick.
Just be like, hey, faggot. Here's God Hand. Here's Okami. Here's Beautiful Joe's 1 and 2. Go nuts. PC Master Race. Doesn't matter you got it, like, fucking 18 years later. It's real talk, you think they're gonna do it? I don't know, man. Okami failed every time they shipped it, so I don't know why they would do it again. Or is that the case? Was Okami a success?
I'm not sure.
I mean, it had to have been if it got Okami Den.
I don't know. I feel like it might be one of those games that they probably never lost too much money on. I don't know that for a fact. I mean, there was a reason why they opted that Clover Studios was not financially productive for them. I don't know.
Well, whatever the case. It is a shame. But you never know. Could be good. Could be really good. So,
I'm looking forward to it. I hear some people love it, so I'm looking forward.
Speaking of Okami, the dogs actually agree that it should indeed come to Switch as well.
They're painting art.
Lord only knows why. I think it could be a racial bias. But, regardless of racial ties and tensions and things of that nature, there isn't really a whole lot here. I just wanted to make you guys alert to the fact that this was a thing. Korean shit happened. And it's not a nuke yet, but it is just as impactful as a North Korean ICBM. So, keep your eyes peeled. So, Dax.
Intercontinental rumor.
Intercontinental. That would be lit. This is actually so Japan's goal of like rendering the entire Western civilization infertile through hentai, although it has backfired, is not as powerful as Korea's ability to bait people into thinking ports are coming when they're actually not.
Everyone commits suicide. It's how they fucking eradicate masses.
It's actually quite BM. It's not a good deal. But, so, who here has seen the Code Vein gameplay?
I have.
I did.
Both of you did. Good.
How about BB, who snuck in here and fucking...
Don't call out the lurk! You don't call out the lurk!
I gotta call out that lurker.
That's very...
Hey, what's up?
It's a very bad stream etiquette. It's very bad stream etiquette.
This is okay. Pokey's cool. I'm good.
Fuck
I got home early
I like you,
from class, so I'm here.
Alright, so, let's look. I'm gonna look for the Code Vein gameplay. Somebody tell me why this isn't Bloodborne. That's the task that I put to you. Tell me how this isn't Bloodborne. I'm actually gonna type Bloodborne in.
Well, it has
Code Vein.
more boring setting.
Code Geass.
Yeah. Which is surprising.
So, I was super disinterested in this game after I learned that it was going to be a Souls-like, because action RPGs are bad, and Souls games are bad. So, this one especially looks a little bit janky. So, what's the premise? Actually, so there was another video released today, like a couple hours ago, where they had the devs talking in subtitles about their shit, and they were like, well, actually, they're not humans. So, like, these little spikes, these little thorns and shit you see everywhere that could have been, like, anything, this is actually the world-ending catastrophe itself. Like, fucking millions of people died as soon as these things started sprouting up from the ground. So,
Because they were garish.
To survive the terrible art direction, the entire human race decided that it needed to turn themselves into vampires to survive. So that's the deal. That's the deal. There you go.
I mean, works for me.
That's what it is. They're vampires.
Seems good, dude.
That's literally what the Japanese devs is like. All right.
And I want
Couldn't
to
get
point
any
out
more anime, I don't think.
Watashi
one very good observation in chat.
Hmm.
The ladders look exactly like they're from Bloodborne. Yes, the art style is extremely inconsistent and very boring and mediocre. God damn it.
Like
I
at
really
first,
do not like this art style.
when I first saw this, I got Darksiders 1 flashbacks when you're in the city because it just sort of has that like, hey, fucked
the
city.
most boring, ugly part of the game, the fucking city.
Fucked city meets hell, and hell is just spikes, I guess. I don't know. Sounds completely like not God Eater. Yeah, that's an important thing to bring up. This is from the God Eater devs, and in the interview. So I will give them a little bit of credit, the devs. I don't know their names because I don't know them like that. But the main thing that they tried bringing up was that like they focused mainly on the difficulty of the Souls series when it came to their inspiration for this, and their reasoning for that was because they think that gamers don't have enough adversity in their lives. So this is going to be their way to get said adversity. And really, it's just like, I see where he's coming from, though. It's about the player's journey to overcome challenges. That's what he wants to do. And I actually really like that. I appreciate that that's what he's going for. I like, and I hope that that's what they actually accomplish. That's something cool. I do appreciate that. They were also big, so like, this isn't actually a person that's following him around. I learned this. This isn't like...
Yeah,
it's an NPC. And they super big dig up the companion system, like, you know, this'll be your way to feel the emotional attachment to your character and shit like that. Only through the companion. And... just flash.
Chill till a minute.
Oh.
Just hold on. Wait a second.
Did you just tell me to Udasai for a second?
Udasai.
Udasai.
I don't need any of your NPC nonsense. Shit out.
Well, because you see Donald Duck here. I know, because he's responsible for healing you. He has to make decisions.
That's pretty good. I like that.
So we got Elephant Man. Okay, Pokey and I are in disagreement on this. I fucking love the elephant. Partially, that's true. That it's unfair to do that to you. So you and I are equal that the face is sick. The head,
Yes.
The head is dope. Where we differ is the rest of the body.
His proportions fuck with me in a way that I just don't like. I respect your admiration for it. I think that's perfectly fine. But it's like you look at that skinny long body and then the short stubby fat legs.
The dude does not skip leg
The
day, dude.
legs.
Here's the thing. Eventually,
exclusively leg day.
the thing that I really like is that if you look at it, they jut out.
He's the opposite of low tier god. I just realized that.
Exactly. So like the legs jut out and like they come up over the chest in a way. So I think that this species has naturally evolved their legs over time to look more like trip pants. Like if you think about the proportions, he looks like Loki does, where he's got like this really slim upper body and just these thick fucking pant legs. He's got he's got the trip pant thing going on. Like I don't even know why the fuck he has the loincloth. Where like if his body proportions followed, his dick must be massive. But you just don't see it.
His loincloth keeps on like fucking flipping up because they got physics here, and I'm not seeing anything.
I'm not seeing any dick. So that's
probably retracts it. Goes back in the body like a dog.
Yeah, probably.
I'm on your journey.
Yeah, I'm gonna not right now.
They slither it out.
That's actually what pops on screen when you die. You just read you got knotted.
You got not.
You got
the like okay. I've been shitting on the art, but I will say that some of the enemy designs, excluding Elfman's like body, like I do like a lot of the enemy art.
Yeah.
Also the animations are really like they cross this line between like jank and also because his neutral stance when he's just sort of chilling neutrally,
he's gonna keep.
He doesn't have that stupid fucking. You know, like this is the thing that you've heard me bitch about numerous times.
I know.
Bloodborne and Dark Souls and Demon Souls, they do this thing where when you're standing neutral without a target, or you know, without like holding your weapon up, your legs are 2 feet apart and your arms like they're sort of like at your sides as if you're floating in water. I hate the way you just fucking stand in the Souls games. Just like, I love all the other animations. I love blocking, dodging, attacking. All those animations are really good. But the fucking neutral stance is just so default. It's like they forgot to fucking stylize it in any fashion.
Well, the thing that's... So somebody pointed out that they like the fact that enemies don't take hit stun. The weird thing, I don't know how this game fucking works with that, where you're right, they don't, and like they're big, but you can also launch them? Okay, so what happened right... Okay, I want to point this out. Side topic.
Oh, the stinger?
Hit boxes. Let's talk about hit boxes first. Hold on. Hold on. Zoom and enhance. Korewa.
Get out the golden ratio.
Speed. Where is speed? 0.25. Let's take a look at what happens here. So we're going real slow. So, fucking Elephant Man comes in hot. You're gonna see some shit that doesn't make any sense. But as far as the super armor shit goes, I think it might be like a DMC3 DT stun system, where you have to wear enemies down before you can launch them. But like, yeah, or it might just be a finisher thing. I don't know. I don't know if the game has ground-to-air combos. But watch what happens here. So, fucking Elephant Man is just swinging his sword all around his body. And right there, you can see the sword passes straight through him and no damage is dealt. So I think the hitbox is only active when it's in front of him. It's fucking weird. I don't know how that's just something I caught. I don't know how the fuck that works.
Yeah, I would assume that more than likely it is an attack that will only have active frames in the front. Even though its animation is all enveloping and it hits behind him. Which, I guess that's okay, because I mean... or maybe it's not. I don't know. I like enemies that do that thing where they stun lock themselves into an attack animation facing away from you. Kind of feels like you're picking on retards when you start attacking them. You know, I feels bad.
Pokey, with all of his experience picking on the special needs kids in high school.
Let me tell you, I regret who I was in high school. Just saying.
I remember the days when the Tard Party used to lock themselves in animations. You could just circle straight
I would assault them from
them.
behind every day.
I would hit visceral attacks for years.
Okay, look at this neutral stance. Look at how good this neutral stance is. Like, he just looks like a dude chilling in neutral stance. I like it.
Like, Pokey, I love you, but I have never noticed that before you did.
The neutral stance thing?
The neutral stance. I have never noticed it.
Yeah, it's just one of the things that irk me about like the Souls games, because I do love Dark Souls. You already know I love Dark Souls. Yeah. But like fucking, if there's one thing that I could fucking change about that game aside from like the terrible frame rate, is that goddamn neutral stance. One of the fucking dumbest. And also fucking Dax brought up last night too. You know, when you're breathing, your fucking metallic armor.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of the stances, nor I've been a fan of the fact that the armor has like a squash and stretch to it.
Yeah.
So like, abide by that fucking animation.
But yeah,
I really like the neutral stance in Code Vein. It's one of the things that they cared about. They didn't care about the fucking environments, I'll say that for sure.
Well, the thing is, I want to kind of play it to see if it's actually feels good. Like,
yeah.
I already don't like how restricted ground combat feels in Souls games, period. But, I mean...
Well, how have your experiences been coming along with Neo?
The thing is about Neo is that it has a weird thing where a lot of enemies, because of the nature as their Onryoki, don't take a whole lot of like a hit stun. But as far as animations go, they have a decent amount of weight when enemies do take serious stun, or when they do suffer a decent amount of key damage.
Yeah.
Like when you do a heavy stance overhead, it feels good. But the main thing there is that, like, Neo and this game seems to follow suit with that, just like Bloodborne in a way, where a lot of this shit seems to be very footsie dependent and, like, very much so based around whiff punishing. So you're just shimmying for 10 million years, waiting for an enemy to, like, take the bait, and just hoping that they don't have a follow-up attack, or that they do take hit stun. But, you know, as far as Neo goes, it's nice.
Yeah.
But...
Well, one of the things I like from everything I've heard and seen about Neo is that its combat has, like, genuine paths of depth. Like, one of the things that I get a little irritated about when people talk about Bloodborne's combo system is that they tend to call its combo system a form of depth, but just having additional hits does not equate to depth. You know,
Right.
it's what you do with them. It's what can be done with them. Like, just to briefly bring this over to Bayonetta because I'm a giant faggot like that. Like, you know how people will be like, you know, or they'll say about like Kingdom Hearts, all you have to do is mash the X button. Or they'll say about like Bayonetta, all you have to do is find like 1 or 2 combos. You stick with those 1 or 2 combos, you're good. You don't have to use anything else, but you can choose to in different situations that will broaden what you're capable of doing. You know, pin attacks, push attacks, you know, shit like that. Like there's all sorts of different things that you could do, and or AoE, single target, and all that shit. Like there's different ways to handle a situation in Bayonetta when it comes to Wicked Weaves. And from what I've seen of Neo, it's the same thing. Like there's all sorts of different ways you can handle a situation with different routes you could take your combos in the different stances, you know, and managing your stamina all at the same time.
Yeah.
And then when I've seen of Bloodborne, you know, it's just a lot of like, oh, by the way, Lump Lord, the combo system I'm talking about is just simply literally adding more attacks to the combo string you're pulling off. As in like attack, weapon swap, not weapon swap, but like weapon
Trick.
extend.
Yeah,
Weapon trick, that's it. Yeah. And then it does like another attack, and then like you could do like another attack after that or something like that. No, but there you go, man. Look at how fucking crazy the depth is in this game. It's like you got more attacks, but you didn't change the situation. You know, nothing here is really affected other than a health bar went down a little bit further, and maybe you got a little bit more stun lock out of it. That's not really much. I'm hoping that Code Vein will go down the path of like Neo, in which you could do, you know, where you can make these intelligent decisions. And the better you are at making those intelligent decisions, you know, the greater advantage you have over the battlefield.
We'll have to see. I think that there's, like, they seem to have more moves at a base level. Like, there's the Gap Closer Stinger, there's, like, the launcher. I don't know how the launcher works necessarily. It may only actually pick up on counter hit, or you may have to charge it more. I'm not sure. I don't know.
The only thing I've ever seen extended so far from the demo from the launcher has just been that one attack where he uses his claw to attack them while they're midair. I don't know if you noticed that, but he does that thing where he does like, so they get launched, and then he'll use his hand to swipe at them. Yeah,
there's like a finisher prompt, so it might. I don't know. It might. I don't think it would be an instant kill because that would make the game too easy. You have to like work up to it. I don't know. No clue.
Yeah, maybe.
But either way, Code Vein. I really wish this art style would have just been used for a fucking action game already. I think I'm getting.
You mean in terms of like the character models?
Yeah, or just like because like the concept of just a sword dude going through the world, being a faggot, getting stronger. Like, I think I'm done with Souls-likes. Period. I think I'm tired of it. I think Neo was the peak.
Well, yeah, it's just that's probably. I mean, it's the peak for now until we see someone do something more creative with it, because like that's the big problem. That's one of the big issues with everything taking the combat from Souls and Bloodborne. And by the way, I fucking hate Souls-like, but you know, it's just like using it as like a basis, just sort of like just reskinning it. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm okay with the concepts that it has. I'm completely okay with its concepts. And in fact, you're talking about how like like what they want to do with Code Vein is to help quench the dearth of challenging games. Perfectly fine. That is a perfectly noble aspect to reach for. But I mean, you don't have to just reskin that particular combat and give it, you know, that was the uppercut, by the way, that I was talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know, you can take a different path. And like, I don't want every single beat 'em up out there to duplicate Bayonetta and DMC. I know there's people out there that would like that. That's perfectly fine, but you know, I mean, I'm always looking for something different, even if it's, you know, I was sort of approaching a similar goal, and that's just one of my points of irritation coming from this. I'm not writing off Code Vein. I'm not saying I'm never going to play the game. I will give it a chance, but everything that I've been seeing so far has been like a mixed bag of like, oh, that's cool, that's nice, and wow, I really am feeling mega cynical about this.
For some reason, I just want to play fucking Phantasy Star Online 2 when I look at this game.
Well, at TGS, Phantasy Star Online 2 is going to be there.
I'm fucking ready to shoot somebody over that.
I know.
Like, it's so fucking dumb, dude. Like, what fucking ruined it for me, like, side tangent, was when they fucking took away the servers for the Westerners, and they brought them back later, but by then it's like, I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I was just fine playing it on Jap. I was fine intermingling with the Nips. And then they told me no.
God. And then I like how they make a full English version for Indonesia, right? Or it was some...
Might have been Taiwan.
South Pacific Asian country. Taiwan, yeah, it might have been Taiwan, maybe.
But either way, they had it, and they looked at America and Europe, and they were like, dude...
We could, but how about that?
Sucks to suck, boy. Eat dicks, bitch. Oh, God. But yeah, that's Code Vein. Elephant Man with the trip pant legs. Oh, it's so good.
I love Slipknot. God, I'm such a maggot.
I'm such a maggot. Do you see Juggalos rocking trip pants?
They were back in the day.
Oh, thank God. But now,
yeah, don't forget, I come from like 300 years ago, man. Fucking, I remember that shit.
I was there when Juggalos were born. I christened him with the face paint.
Now, Juggalos were born in like 1990 or 1992, I think. So like, I was still like a dumb little babby back when that shit was happening.
Grasped the first baby Juggalo, held a magnet before it, and it just looked confused.
Give me the mystery.
Fucking magnets. How do they work?
Stupid scientists explaining shit.
Oh, God. So yeah, Code Vein. Don't give a fuck now, but we got more information on it.
I'm hoping to look at it more positively later.
Well, we might when we actually get a chance to play it. It may feel a hell of a lot better than it looks.
Is it exclusively coming out for PS4, or is it also coming out for PC? Because I know the God Eater series eventually made its way to PC.
Let's investigate. Because I think it's only on PS4. Because Japanese devs still look very confusedly at... Oh, no, it's coming to Xbox One and Windows 2.
Oh, okay.
Good. Good on them. I'm glad that we're past this weird point where you just couldn't fucking get Japanese games on PC consistently. I'm happy that's a thing that we're past.
Yeah, some people are still holding out for some reason.
Hey, well, you can't always be Sega, boy, you know? You can't always be PlayStation 2 era Sega.
Can't always be Atlas.
Also true. You will never get Persona on PC. Alright, so, Pokey. While I look up footage for... What is this update called?
Oh, let's see. Well, what specifically are we on right now?
We're on FF14 Evilise.
Oh, okay. You wanted to skip over... Oh, no, wait. No, never mind. I'm looking at the dock. And
yeah, we just hit up...
different.
Yeah, the way I assemble it here is in a different order than it's on the dock.
Yeah. Okay, I see it. Oh, that's good. All right. So, what exactly would you like me to discuss with this?
So, what do you know?
News?
What do you know? Where did this come from?
Okay, so a while ago, I think this was either earlier this year or later last year. They had announced that there was going to be an Evilise-based raid coming to Final Fantasy XIV. They said Matsuno was going to write the raid, so that's good because Matsuno is Evilise. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can't recreate anything Evilise without Matsuno. So they did the intelligent thing by bringing him on board for that situation. Recently, they unveiled that Evilise is officially now going to be a part of the world of Final Fantasy XIV. Eorzea, this is something that I wasn't aware of until recently. I was talking to Clemps about this, and he told me that Eorzea is only a continent. It is not it's not the world of Final Fantasy XIV. And that pleased me greatly to hear that, because one of my concerns was that they were going to take Evilise and just transform Evilise into like, oh, Evilise is just, it's a country that's just sort of like, it's just a bit of a landmass that we added. Great, there you go, that's Evilise. Because one of the big deals about Evilise in Final Fantasy XII, in Vagrant Story, and in Final Fantasy Tactics, is that Evilise is only ever fed to you in breadcrumbs. You're only given a portion of landmass. You're not even given a full continent. You're shown countries, like a country or countries that are within some landmass that's connected to more outside the borders that you're allowed to explore. And what makes that so great is that they emphasize how that it doesn't directly, but it tangentially emphasizes how large the world of Evil East truly is. Because you're wandering these large expanses of land, warring, dealing with all sorts of politics and shit like that. Things go to hell. And it's crazy cool because it's like, what's beyond the borders? That's one of the cool things about Evil East. It always leaves that mystery of like, what the fuck is beyond the borders? You know, for instance, in fact, actually, I should talk about this directly. Apparently, the Evil East raid or the Evil East update or whatever that's coming to Final Fantasy XIV is now, as I said, it's connecting Evil East to the world of Final Fantasy XIV. Apparently, we're going to Rabanastre or Damaska. It's one of the two of them. I can't remember. But Rabanastre is in Damaska.
Right.
And that's cool because I love Rabanastre. I think it's a great city. But here's the weird thing. They show key art for Ramza and Delita. They're both their younger forms from chapter... Well, it's like Ramza from chapter 1 of Final Fantasy Tactics and Delita from chapter 2 and 3 of Final Fantasy Tactics. So they're kind of like in this sort of like weird mixed presentation of what they are going to look like. It's difficult to tell if it's some sort of like some spot between, because if there's one thing that Final Fantasy XIV lends to itself is that between each chapter there's a time skip. So it implies that, you know, years are going by within this game as you're playing it. Between each chapter, you know, time has passed.
Right.
So perhaps this is taking place between chapters 1 and 2. That's a potentiality. The thing is, though, is that would be weird. It doesn't have to. Because, man, should we give some sort of spoiler warning in terms of the ending to Final Fantasy Tactics?
If you would, yeah, sure.
Is there anything you want to put on the screen to let them know that I'm talking about this, and then like we can take it off?
Yeah. So, all right.
And the only reason why I even care about that is because Final Fantasy Final Fantasy Tactics has such a very well-written, intertwined story that if no one's played it and they're interested in it, then to tell you the ending directly would really be an asshole thing for me to do on a podcast, just, you know, offhand.
All right.
Which I am going to go over the ending, so that's why we're going to put
spoiler mode activated. When this is off screen, you guys can unmute the shit. Sound good? Sounds good. All right.
All right. So essentially, at the end of Final Fantasy Tactics, after you kill Ultima and you get Ulma back, Ulma being Ramza's sister, Ramza lives. Now, at the beginning of the game, they tell you that Ramza's dead. He was a heretic at the church, and they also tell you that Delita lived a prosperous life as king until his last days, which they lead you to believe that he died of natural causes, you know, as an old person. At the end of the game, like I said, you know, you kill Ultima. You come back out from the essentially like the depths of the Nether. You have Alma with you, and then Ramza gets to go off and do whatever it is he's going to do. Him and his sister are, you know, fleeing the country and not dealing with it anymore. Delita, his wife, Queen Olivia, tries to assassinate him. So she makes an attempt to kill him. His response is to lash back at her and kill her because he had already planned on killing her anyway. Or it might have been in reverse. It might have been like he tried to kill Olivia and then Olivia attempted to kill him. Regardless, apparently Delita survives that assassination attempt. Olivia dies. So what they could do is this could be like, perhaps the key art is misleading and showing Ramza in the outfit that he's in and Delita in the outfit that he's in. Perhaps the two of them are going to be post-FFT incarnations of themselves. And perhaps this is going to be around that time period for where they are. Now, why and how the hell they even wound up in Rabanastre or Damaska, wherever the fuck this raid's taking place, I don't know. They haven't gone into the details of that. But apparently we're going to be interacting with them on some level. and they're going to be in a country that they were not in the original Final Fantasy Tactics game. Now, what I'm really hoping is they don't fuck up the chronology in some way. I'm fucking because like I've already if anyone's seen my Vagrant Story review, one of the things that I absolutely gush about is the fact that FFT is the latest point in the timeline. Or no, Vagrant Story is like essentially the latest point in the timeline, and FFT is that like that midpoint, and Tactics is the earliest point. And in Tactics, you see technology all over the fucking place. You know, you see like fucking flying, stupid, gay Star Wars ships. Magic is fucking rampant. And then Final Fantasy Tactics, things are more grounded. There's no more sky travel. You actually have to take propositions to find your way to certain places and the places that are mentioned in, or that you actually visit in 12. The floating island where Marquise is holding up his political position. You know, you find that in Final Fantasy Tactics before they ever expanded upon it more in 12. So it's really cool how they have this consistency of like magic and magical beings just starting to turn into scarce commodities. And then eventually in Vagrant Story, all of it's essentially fucking legend, and magic is like crazy, like, whoa, holy shit, you were able to do this crazy fucking magic shit. You know, and the darkness apparently helps like amplify magic abilities, and all the grimoires are helping people unlock like magic shit. You know, magical creatures are being found there, and they're not supposed to be normal. That's what's really cool about that. And in fact, actually, in Final Fantasy Tactics, they even mention at one point, one of the characters is talking to another character, and he's like, you know, back in the day, there used to be, and by the way, back in the day, he's talking about like over 1,000 years ago or some shit. He's like, there used to be flying metallic ships. You know, we used to have that technology, and that no longer exists. Again, emphasizing that there's a degradation of technology and magic over time. Now, from what I've seen of Final Fantasy XIV, there's a hell of a lot of magic and a hell of a lot of technology.
Right.
And also, the summons being primals is kind of weird because, again, summoners were summoning what eventually turned into primals already in Final Fantasy Tactics.
Right.
So that's a weird thing all on its own. I don't understand how that works. They have a lot that they have to work around in order to truly fuse Ivalice, especially Tactics, very specifically Tactics, in with the rest of what's going on here. Now, here's the thing that I think is great. The reason why I can do this successfully, if they follow through canon, they can just say it's as simple as this. They were never able to reach those other areas, so they never knew these other people had these other forms of things. They never knew that magic and technology existed in other areas because they weren't able to reach it. In Final Fantasy XII, there's a part where you see in the middle of the ocean, there's a giant fucking circular waterfall, implying that there's more on a higher level. Like, apparently there is some sort of like very convenient border where the land had been risen, and it's in the middle of the fucking ocean. So clearly, no one's going to be sailing ships up that. Right. So it's and apparently there's like, if I recall, there's even also a force field as well. So they could have just been isolated. There might be a case where everything we've seen in Ivalice, they are isolated from the rest of what's happening in their own world, and that is perfectly fine. That'll be fucking cool. I will be so excited. If my only problem is that it's an MMO. Right. So now they're officially making Ivalice a canon part of Final Fantasy XIV. I have no problem with that, but the fact that it's an MMO means I have to pay every month in order to be able to experience that shit, and that kind of hurts.
Well, does Stormblood have a sub fee?
I think there's like a free thing where you play up to level 20 for free or some shit.
Well, in either case, I also hope that they don't fucking, like you said with the MMO shit, there's a possibility that they could really fuck with the timeline and fuck with the chronology by having all these just fucking BK Randys running around in it. Free up to level 35. Yeah. What's cap?
Is cap 80 or something? I can't recall.
Well, in either case.
Yeah.
You know. I don't know. I hope.
Yeah, they've got a lot that they have to take care of.
Well, it could be another WoW situation, is the thing that worries me. where you fucking run up on people and you're like, "Hey, thrall. Oh, hello."
Hello.
Wump scut. You like, "Oh, what's up, champion who saved the fucking universe? All 200,000 of you?"
I hate that shit.
And that could fuck up the mystique and a lot of the lore of the Evil East setting, which isn't really a good thing by any means. Or
Especially because there's a lot of there's a surprising amount of people that actually give a super huge shit about the Evil East like lore, setting, and chronology. Obviously, myself included, but like there's been like more and more people coming out of the closet about that in recent years, which I couldn't be happier about. I'm very, very thankful for that. But like, there's a lot of people that give a shit here, so I'll fuck it up.
It could also be like a fucking what's the word I'm looking for? It could be an alternate universe thing. Where it's like, hey fuckers, we just took the Evil East concept, it's here now. Have fun. You know, hey Ramsey.
Yeah. If it's just like if they decide to go a little ham and corny with it, then and if it's alternate universe, whatever, that's inconsequential. That's perfectly fine.
True. Yeah, well, I don't know. I like I said, I've been keeping my fucking distance on fucking what's its nuts FF14 for a while now, just because I can't justify another fucking MMO in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's just sort of
I
the way
just
that one
noticed
goes.
something too. They could bring the Risk Breaker in as one of the classes for 14. That'd be cool because Ashley Rye was Risk Breaker.
That's
anyway. Yeah, I guess the tactic spoilers thing can be taken down there.
We'll have to see what other fucking ideas they can bring in for it. Now that they're starting to breach into that fucking world. Now, Pokey, you're being back to back on this. So my goy, I need for you to talk to me about the Witcher 10-year anniversary.
Let's see. Let me find the fucking thing.
Because I don't think anybody else here played The Witcher, right? Dax, BB?
No, not really.
No.
Fuck. It's alright.
I'm trying to find a specific image. If I can get it... Ah, there it is. I gotta restore it onto my desktop. There we go. I'll post it in our Discord chat, and you can choose to put it up there if you want.
Okay.
So, The Witcher recently had an interview on stage from Danny O'Dwyer, presenting it for his channel NoClip, where he does crowdfunded behind the scene like investigations and documentaries and shit like that. He decided to bring a couple lead designers and organizers from CDPR onto stage at PAX West, where they had a 2-hour interview. And god damn it, I was gushing the entire time.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So I'm going to start off strong here. And it's going to be something that most people probably don't really give a shit about, but it only makes me love them all the more. The lead composer, I can't remember his full name, but I think it's like Marcin. Marcin has built, like, he was so desperate to get a unique sound for the soundtrack for The Witcher 3, and it is one of my genuine favorite soundtracks, so good on him. He built that fucking monstrosity that you're looking at on, or I mean, probably not him personally, like it was him and his team built that monstrosity that you see this guy fiddling with. What it is a hurdy-gurdy fused together with a cello, so that way they can get the hollow bass and additional strings, so that way the hurdy-gurdy can make sounds that no normal hurdy-gurdy could ever make. Which is just fucking cool. Like, it's a never before used tool, now used for a soundtrack exclusively. And if any other people out there have caught season 7 of Game of Thrones, interestingly enough, some of the songs used in season 7 have a very, very Witcher 3 sound to them, and I'm curious if they spoke with CDPR in terms of like how they got some of those themes rolling out, or maybe the ones that they built didn't require that weird demonic hurdy-gurdy, so whatever. Anyway, holy shit, man, it was crazy. It was really awesome seeing like they were sharing stories about bugs that they had, some of their favorite experiences from playing the Witcher games, from building the Witcher games, talking about like writing and consistency and world building and characterization. They were going on about like accents and shit like that. Like, because if anyone doesn't know, there's a theory of sorts in which like the humans in The Witcher have been teleported through magistry from actual Earth into the Witcher world. So they're like not really native to the world that they inhabit. And this partially explains why some of those accents exist, but it doesn't explain all of them, especially considering that dwarves are native to that world and dwarves themselves have the Scottish accent and stuff like that. And anyway, they went on as to why and how they were like they were why they would recycle certain tropes and stuff like that. Because and there was a guy on stage named Boris, and he said one of my favorite things, and it's something I agree with entirely. Tropes. It was an answer. It was an answer to a question, which someone's like how is it that and why is it that you use these tropes that are typically considered tired, but find a way to utilize them in a way that is not so like boring and predictable, or is at least in a way more tolerable. To which he was saying that like there's a reason why tropes exist, and tropes alone are not inherently bad. Like just because a cliche exists does not mean the cliche is therefore bad and should therefore be avoided. It's how you use the cliche, and the reason why I agree with that is because it's something I already agreed with thanks to a documentary, or not a documentary, but a commentary track from Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg for Hot Fuzz, in which they revealed that Hot Fuzz is nothing but a giant ode to buddy cop cliches that was cultivated in a book written by Roger Ebert, in which he was talking about like cliches and how they're not all bad. And so he started talking about a bunch of whole like buddy cop stuff, and that's where the inspiration for Hot Fuzz came from. And it's thanks to that. It's thanks to cliches that something so good as Hot Fuzz exists. And again, that's what they do for The Witcher. CDPR will take cliches and study what these tropes are, and they'll decide what they're going to keep and what they're not going to keep. And and if they want to keep something, they want to utilize it in a way that's just more fun. It doesn't have to be refreshing, but it has to be like it at least has to feel authentic. And so that's what they were going into in terms of like world building and how they make these certain decisions. And man, there was just one part very specifically that it was unintentionally the biggest fucking bitch slap to Bethesda. And what it was they were talking about how the art team, the quest design team, and the like dialogue team were not communicating well enough during the production of Witcher 3, and so they had to remedy something very specifically. And what it was how in Velen, starvation is a big thing. If anyone that's played The Witcher 3 knows that one of the biggest issues about Velen is that people are fucking starving. They're poor. There's not much wildlife running around for them that they can safely hunt. Like, there's plenty of wolves, but no peasant's going to go out there, with a knife and try to stick a wolf.
Right.
They're not going to do that. So now the reason why I bring that up, like specifically wildlife, is because one of the inconsistencies that they had during the production of the game that they thankfully, got fixed before it came out, was there would be peasants talking about how they're fucking starving. Now, while they're doing that, they're chopping meat.
Oh.
While they're chopping meat in their shacks that they're sitting in front of, their homes, they had sausages hanging all over the place. In the fields, deer were running around. In their pockets, if you were to kill any of them and loot them, they had wheels of cheese and turkey sandwiches. So starvation, kind of not a big deal, right. When they're talking about it, but they're not really living it. So they had to go back and discuss with one another like what was wrong, and they were like, we love these sausage-filled huts you made. This is great art. We can't fucking use it though because it's 100% inappropriate for Velen. And the reason why this is such a huge bitch slap to Bethesda is for two reasons. I think one of the okay, so there's Fallout 3, where in Fallout 3, people are alive and living, but you don't see how they get food.
Right.
They don't talk about starvation. They're just kind of doing their thing. You never see crops. Now compare this to when Obsidian made New Vegas. You see crops. You see where corn's being grown. You see onions and shit like that. You see where radioactive water and non-radioactive water are being cultivated. You see how these people are surviving. Again, come back to Fallout 3, you just see these units where people are living, and there is no sense of how they're living there. There's no like crops being grown anywhere. There's no like no farms where cattle is being gathered up and shit. In Fallout 4, there's another one as well, in which there's a kid, a ghoul, a child ghoul, who survived in a refrigerator, locked in a refrigerator for several hundred years. Now, even though ghouls are zombies, ghouls can starve to death. I know you hear the kid shouting outside.
Wait, is that outside your house?
Yeah.
Fucking shout outs to him, dude.
Yeah, this kid's shouting for their dad, so I guess shout out to dad. Anyway,
Shout out to inattentive parents. Someone's probably dying, which is really fucked.
No, it's probably just... If I know who it is, it's probably just a kid that's like just bugging their dad while their dad's like trying to inside like, yeah. I don't know. They're probably like
faggot.
When I'm picturing in this situation is the dad's inside like trying to like fuck his wife or something, and then feed your kids food. Fuck them, dude. Get out. Fuck them.
Get a job.
Get a job, 6-year-old. Nah, but So there, like I said, there's the ghoul kid trapped in the refrigerator, and this was a bit of a controversy back, or not a controversy per se, but like a big complaint that popped up when Fallout 4 came out, which they pressed the writers like, the fuck, like ghouls aren't supposed to be able to survive this long without food.
Right.
Like they're zombies, yeah, but they also have to feed. Like this doesn't make sense. How is he living off the food inside in the fridge? That doesn't also make sense. How does he have infinite food for like several hundred years? How is he living without oxygen and all this other shit? And the guy's response was like, "Look, we don't care." It was like if you're trying to pick apart story for this like sci-fi fantasy game, like what the fuck's wrong with you? What are you, dumb? People give a shit about that, especially because in previous Fallout games, they go at length to describe how ghouls exist. Like I'm not talking about in terms of like how they exist by like through radiation. I'm talking about like what their day-to-day life thing is. The reason why they don't run is because they're brittle. They'll fall apart if they try to run after you. There are a bunch of stipulations like sprint. Like I guess like light running would be acceptable, but they don't sprint for very specific reasons like that. Like they'll fall apart. And there are cases where ghouls will just straight up starve to death. The ghouls you see living are the ghouls that you see eating. And that's always been the case. So there's just also like everything surrounding that situation was just the writers not giving a fuck, and the art team not giving a fuck. Just a whole bunch of people not giving a fuck. Meanwhile, fucking fast forward to, I guess it's technically rewind to Witcher 3, where they're pouring all these hours into making this beautiful art, and they can't even use all of it because they realize that it's inconsistent. Right. It would destroy the atmosphere and the consistency of the world that they're building. They were also discussing music in the open world of Velen, and they were trying to think like, how can we incorporate music into the open world of Velen that would just sort of I don't know, make sense. So rather than doing what they did in the final game, where they have sort of a more somber ambient tune that sort of crops up every so often, not counting obviously the music when you get into a fight, which is completely separate. They're like, what if we were just to like put bards and shit like that, or like bands on these like little gazebos. Every minute and a half you're traveling in through the world. And I guess that would sort of explain how the music's like coming along in the world. And they're like, wait a minute, but Velen's fucking starving. It makes no fucking sense to come across these gazebos full of musicians to incorporate the music into the world. Fuck that. So they stripped that idea straight out. Like they went into such great depths about their thought process and like incorporating every last detail. One of my favorite things, I brought this up on Twitter a while ago, was they were also talking about like the bugs that they had
Yeah,
encountered during the process of Witcher 1, 2, and 3, and specifically for 2.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
They brought up a so you know, a bug can exist for a period of time. One such bug that would crash the game existed for 6 weeks, but they didn't know, because the only way to test that bug and how it would crash the game is if you opted to not fuck Triss in chapter 1 of Witcher 2. It's the fuck where it's the fuck scene where you're fucking her in the water, you know, in the Elven Ruin. So for 6 weeks straight, every QA tester was just choosing to smash. No one would opt not to. And it was just like, well, how the fuck are we getting this crash every single time? I don't understand it. Well, it turns out it's because, you know, it's that one person just decided, I'm not gonna fuck her. How the hell that happened? They go back and they check like when that last update was made that caused the crash. 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks. People were just fucking her nonstop. It was great.
Let me smash.
Yeah.
That's solid. I wish fucking more teams would do shit like this.
Yeah.
Especially for games that I actually liked. Because, like, a fucking... You might not think so, but even, like, the shittiest game, like, even, I think Bethesda, for, like, Fallout 4 or whatever, could have a really fucking interesting and fun dev talk. Because just the scale of that project and the shit that goes into it. Especially if you're, like, someone who likes seeing how things are made and where and, like, what goes into it. This stuff is invaluable. It's fucking crazy.
I want to punctuate something. So someone in the chat's like, you know, that feel when CD Projekt Red was looking for QA testers and they didn't hire me. 2 of the people on stage were reapplying to CDPR for like multiple years before they even got in. And mind you, everyone that was on stage was the lead designer in all their departments. Their lead musician and their lead quest designer, both who do incredible work, had to reapply again and again and again for multiple years before they ever got into the company. So if you're applying for shit and you really want to be a part of that, just keep on reapplying. Don't just be one and done. Try again. Keep on doing it.
Absolutely. And that's, yeah, I would fucking... Like, Witcher is obviously a special case because there's clearly so much fucking love put into it, but I would love to see... Panels like this are so fucking cool, especially at PAX, because they had one for Indivisible.
Yeah.
That was fucking sick, too. And, like, I think if... I wish Supergiant would have done something like this for,
Pyre?
Well, not even as... Well, yeah, for Pyre, too, but also for Transistor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, that would have been great.
Just because I would really like to hear how a team of 12 handle deving like that. That should be fascinating. So good on fucking CDPR for doing this. And I still can't wait to hear about Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, they refused to bring... Oh, that reminds me of one of the fucking best parts. It was like 35 or 38 minutes in. I can't remember when it was. Marcin, who's the lead musician, lead composer for music in the game. He when they were asking like what's their favorite, like I think it was like what their favorite character was from the first game, and they got to him. He's like, it's a weird time to come out of the closet, but I never got around to playing Witcher 1. And just everyone just fucking like,
yeah, everybody walks out.
Starts walking away around. It was just so great. God, I fucking love that.
It's personality. It's so much fucking personality in it.
Yeah.
So that's the Witcher anniversary. So now, I think it would be as good a time as ever to fucking... to open the floor up. Because I know this is something that everybody has been at least tertiarily aware of. Let's get the clip. Let's put this on stream. Where is it? Of Cuphead. Okay.
Live feed of Ash's Cuphead gameplay.
So let's put my gameplay on stream real quick. What you are seeing is Dean Takahashi, who is a 25-year tech journalist who is currently a reporter for VentureBeat, who got an opportunity to play Cuphead at a recent event from Gamescom. This is the Gamescom Cuphead demo, and for some fucking reason they felt the need to publish this gameplay. And it's sort of gotten a little out of hand here. So
yeah, the funny. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I need to actually go. I need to go use the restroom real quick. So somebody who's Dax, have you been following this?
A little bit. I actually read an article from Dean today. I think he put out like a blog.
Did you read the whole thing? I read halfway through.
I read what I needed to know.
So somebody go ahead and catch the stream up on what's been happening.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. So what's been what everyone's been freaking out about is, yeah, like Mash said, this footage came out. Obviously, the guy doesn't really know what to do, and it's kind of sparked this debate over how how credible gaming journalists should be, or people that are reporting on games in any manner should be when if they're not able to even follow a tutorial menu and that sort of case. And of course, things got blown out of proportion quite a bit because you have a 26-minute video where someone took basically the worst 2 minutes of it, which from what a lot of the footage I've seen is far worse than a lot of the rest of the footage, the video, really, and kind of put that pretty out of context. I mean, it's I guess I'm kind of 50-50 on it, because again, I read through his blog post. I read some of the stuff that he was talking about, the guy, Dean, who did this footage, where he essentially said, look, I had the opportunity to play this game. I said straight away that I'm not good at this fucking game, and no one else was really there who was competent enough, who was part of my team or a lot of other review. Like it was Gamescom like Germany. And it's like no one else who was really reporting from my I guess my group or whatever it was, and they had me do it, and I recorded as much footage as I could, and me and all my friends were or everyone else at the offices and everything were kind of like, yeah, this is pretty bad, but we'll throw it up there as kind of a joke, right? Or like not really a serious video. It's not meant to be a serious review. It's not meant to be a serious impressions thing or anything like that. It's just footage that they had. They thought it'd be kind of funny, and so they threw it up there. The problem is that I feel like there's a certain level of scrutiny that you have to expect if you're going to be putting it up there with because that wasn't the impression that I got, especially looking back at the original the original source of where this footage was posted.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really written.
What was the original when you consumed it for the first time? Where'd you get it from?
Well, again, like the first time I saw this was just seeing clips of it on Twitter being posted and from people and just saying like, man, look at how fucking horrible this is.
Yeah.
I was actually today when I went back and thought to look at the original article, because I haven't really cared about this that much until I read his blog post about it and thought it was kind of interesting, and so I wanted to look it up and see how it was actually displayed on the original article. Again, he was talking about how it's like, yeah, we kind of put it up there nonchalantly as something that we thought would be kind of funny. We didn't think people would take it seriously. We didn't think it would have such an impact on I guess like the game journalism climate, if you will, and obviously it did. But yeah, I just don't really get that impression too much from the article. Like I understand the idea behind that, and I think it's totally fine, but I mean it just doesn't really give me that vibe when I read through it. So I can kind of also sympathize with those who are like, wow, why would you even, how do you post this without straight up saying like this gameplay is from someone who's fucking terrible. Of course, then you watch the actual 26 minutes and he does say at the very start that, hey, I'm fucking bad at this. I don't know. There's a big like 50-50 thing for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's like there are people that are coming at this from both angles that actually have a lot of really good points.
Mm-hmm.
It's not clear cut and dry. I think the best way to put it in a vacuum. Okay, so there was an argument being made where someone said, I think it was Rami is Molly, I think his name. I can't remember, or Maciel. I can't remember the fucking guy. Apparently, he's a pretty not really enjoyed game journalist of some sort. He was like, he was discussing this with one of the people that was commenting on one of his Twitter rants, and he says something along the lines that people that are unskilled at these games, they can bring a valuable perspective to the discussion. I agree with this. It's actually something I say quite a lot in terms of why I like watching Angry Joe's videos, because when he's reviewing a game regarding a genre that of which he's not an expert in any sorts of the manner, I do value that kind of shit. Here's the thing, though: in a vacuum, I don't believe that to be correct. The reason why I don't think that to be correct is because it lacks value when it's isolated, when that's all you have to go on, and you don't have someone who can bring counterpoints or more informative points to those more ignorant things. Then you're not really doing much for the conversation. It is a poor representation of the game. It's a poor representation of your own general standards that you have. It's okay to be bad at the game, and it's okay for people that are bad at games to review them, but to keep them isolated, to keep them as the exclusive review or the exclusive preview, which this is more of. This it's a demonstration from someone who doesn't know how to utilize the tool which is this fucking game. There's nothing there. Now, again, you brought up the fact that he thought it would be funny. This was actually the whole reason why the video went up to begin with, was strictly just him roasting himself. That's what it was. It was him making fun of himself. It's called 25 minutes of Dean's shameful gameplay. It's him literally laughing at himself, his friends laughing at him, and he just thought it was going to end there. And then, of course, some people took it a bit further. And again, like I said, there are good points on both sides, because I do think that just having someone demonstrate alone on this game being this bad really doesn't help, your game sector of venture beat being for this game beat.
Right.
It doesn't really give me much faith in what your whole crew can really do if this is all we got. It just at one point he was talking about how he thought the game was supposed to play like Mario. How I think at one point he said that I didn't realize until several minutes into the first level that I was losing health when I was jumping on enemies because I thought it played like Mario. Come the fuck on. Come on. And it really didn't help that he didn't emphasize the fact that he was presenting this to roast himself when the conversation was fresh and happening. When the conversation was fresh, he kept on doing this thing where he was doubling down on why he was misleading himself into these situations. It didn't tell me to do this or that. And I feel like being bad at video games is perfectly valid for this or that. And it's you're not. That's the whole point you brought this up, is because you were laughing at yourself. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't try to double down on it and say that this should be a standard that's okay, because it's not. It really isn't. Again, like I said, I do find value in people being bad at games, talking about the games that they're playing, but not in a vacuum. That's what she's defending.
Another thing that's important to bring up too, and this could just be from personal experience, but I feel like there are an enormous quanta of people who attempt to sell the value of their critique or opinion on the back of them being shit at something.
Fetishizing skill much?
Well, that's the thing. There are a decent number of people who have a solid degree of comfort in a wide variety of games of a specific genre. Yeah. But there are not, for every genre specialist who is a critic, there is not one person who sells themselves on the fact that they are shit at whatever game they're talking about. It's the proportion is thrown way out of fucking whack. Because being a genre specialist, for one, it limits you in what you can cover. Yeah. Sort of cover well, at least. But also, it's, you actually have to really enjoy the things that you're talking about. And not everybody has that type of drive or attachment, which is okay. But it's way out of fucking whack. It's not comparable in any way. And these, and here's the thing. It's fucking, I'm trying to think of a way to put it. There's a strange sort of divide between being competent and being shit and being a god. There's this stupid fucking things happening in this conversation where people are assuming that like, there's a difference between being competent and being a god. I think you guys may have explained this while I was in the bathroom, but, like, this...
no, you were talking about that. I actually specifically didn't cover that because I knew you were going to get into it.
What we're seeing here is a basic dexterity check. That's what's happening on screen. That's what the tutorial was. Like, it's jump with the stick movement, and then press triangle to dash in midair. In a sequence. That's a dex check. To make sure that you can actually do a thing in a game. This is not an issue of whether or not he's good at the game, because, frankly, I don't even know what the fuck good at Cuphead would even look like. There are not enough players that have had hands-on time with this game to develop a meta. That's what I judge good as. Good in relation to the meta of other players. Nobody has had enough hands-on time with this game to develop that. This is not good in terms of other players. This is good in terms of the game. We're not even at we're at competency. There's a competency check, and he has failed to surpass it. And that's the discussion point. Not any of this shit about whether or not a player is good. Which I think there is fucking value in that. Especially from an analytical perspective. Because if you think about it, and someone brought up Gerald, but even then, Gerald he's not a god, but he's competent enough in the meta. He's better than an average player. And he knows what's going on. He can at least do some of the things technically to a certain extent. He has experience in a wide variety of the games that he covers. And that's important because you need to be able to run whatever mechanics are going on through yourself. This shit needs a personal filter. Because if everybody only based all of their thoughts and shit off of players who actually did put the work in, there would be no personal differences between, like, upper division topics. Like, if you only had... If all games criticism about something like Devil May Cry, for example, as soon as it came to the topic of upper level play, or like jump canceling or shit like that, and you only consulted players like DK, who were in it and of it and liked it, then you would have a very hard time finding people who could jump cancel that would have a differing opinion on the concept, like saying that it's too easy, that it's like, that it deletes enemies, that it's fucked for balance, that this game is not well balanced for skill, which is a valid and interesting discussion to have, but someone needs to experience that themselves and needs to be able to see that new horizon of the game and appraise that. That's what's valuable about being skilled at a game, about knowing what's going on. This isn't even approaching being skilled at a game. This is, like I said, a basic dexterity check that is being fucked up by Dean. That's what's being discussed here. And that's the fucking issue.
And, well, the thing that's irritating me the most about it is, like, this is a mix of conversations trying to be, like, that are being compartmentalized into a single conversation, but it's really more nuanced than that. There's layers here.
Oh, yeah.
People are trying to say, like, you know, hot take, you don't have to be good at playing video games to review them.
George.
True. But you know what would be nice if you had someone good at video games reviewing them.
Yeah.
You know what I do agree with, though. You don't have to be good at playing video games in order to cover them. You don't have to be good at video games to cover the industry, specifically to report on things, like to discuss outsourcing from one company to another, to discuss sales, to discuss microtransactions, corruptions, crunch time, to discuss
tax fraud,
all that stuff. Yeah, in the gaming industry, you don't have to be good at playing video games to discuss video games and what's happening in the video game world. You don't have to be. And again, you don't have to be good at playing video games in order to talk about a specific game.
Right.
But again, without that, without something to offset it, when you are lacking that skill and you're talking about something without that skill, you aren't providing much substance. You're providing one very tiny sliver of what could be considered valuable, you know? Again, you know, talking, like, I brought this up a million. Actually, no, I think, Dax, you brought this up, was it 2 weeks ago when you were discussing Street Fighter Cross Tekken reviews that were like, oh, it's fucking great, completely not taking into consideration any of the nuances that goes into reviewing a fighting game, not discussing the fact that, you know, shit like Blanca DLC happened. It's just like they lack value. There's nothing there other than just someone saying, yeah, I played the game and this is kind of what I thought. Okay, great. So what can you say more? And again, like I said, that doesn't devalue people that are bad at it, but it definitely, they need something else to offset it.
Well, here's the thing. There's, like, in terms of criticism, the difficulty discussion is a bit of a minefield. Because there's, like, for some reason, I don't know why this happens, but when someone says that something is balanced or something, like when someone says that something is reasonably difficult, a lot of people don't really bat an eye, and nobody will call them out on it. Like, it doesn't need a whole lot of evidence to really support it. But if in a review you say that something is bullshit, or like, okay, something is very difficult, or at worst, unfair, that's when, like, you actually need substantive evidence to point to something being unreasonable. And obviously people's definitions of what is and isn't unreasonable are going to be different, but I think something that could be a little universally applicable is something like something reading your inputs. I think that could be deemed unfair. But I think, supposedly, this is rumors as fuck, but the initial version of this video was called 26 minutes of Cuphead gameplay, like, it's very hard. Or something like that. Just something extolling how hard it is to work in this game.
Yeah, Cuphead gameplay.
And it's like, if as a reviewer, you make a point that, and like, this could be a negative aspect, where like, this game could be more frustrating within the first 30 minutes than is fair, you know, then that could deter a purchase. If you were to approach this from what is going to incentivize someone to purchase a game, that type of shit, then if you were to say that Cuphead is busted and it's unfair, and this is the gameplay that you put on screen to subsidize and justify that opinion, that's not a good look. But then again, Dean also isn't a reviewer. He's a reporter. And
Which he even also admitted that someone else will be reviewing the game. It's not going to be him.
Yeah.
Which, like, this to me is like a perk of the job type deal. Or it's like he was called upon by his EIC to do this for him. Like, this was
kind of that's how he treated it. I mean, that's how he words it in his blog post. He talks about, you know, he talks about how busy his job is, but how much he enjoys it with the variety of things that he gets to do. But I mean, this was sort of a side thing that they thought was funny, so they threw it up. And just I guess a lot of I think it's a mixture of lack of context from them, as well as just the fact that, like a lot of things on Twitter and social media in general, people will just, you know, they'll take 10% of something, throw it on there, and then it gets, you know, that's the portion that everyone sees. That's what gets thrown out of context.
Well, here's the thing. Games journalist means too many things, because reviewers get lumped into being journalists. Critics
it's like
get
we just
lumped
said.
into
It's like we just said, he's a reporter, not a reviewer, but no one's really making that distinction. They're just like, oh, well, here's a guy in the industry who's involved with video games. It's like, and he even posted in his blog post, he was like, I wish people would give me more credit on that giant fucking
the Xbox
Xbox thing, like the history of like the Xbox hardware, like all this kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's, you know, I that's the kind of stuff that I do. I don't do a lot of this, but yeah, I mean, it's in context.
It really is blown out of proportion, and I do feel like the way how he doubled down on it at the beginning really didn't help. I feel like the fact that making
that's
like
the last thing
hour-long,
he should have done.
Yeah.
The hour-long podcast. I didn't watch the podcast, so I don't really know what's said in there. But the fact that it's an hour-long podcast about them talking about the situation, like, you know what? How about this? You make a separate video. You truncate your ideas that you want to punctuate, and you don't make it an hour long for someone to fucking consume, and then I'll give it a shot. All right? How about that? If you want to defend yourself, don't make it a fucking hassle for me to consume that shit. But I mean, there are so many people that are coming at this from so many different directions. Again, all with many valid points, but people that are trying to defend this as in like, no, it has complete and pure value on its own. It doesn't need anything else. Like, no, that's wrong. And people coming at this like, haha, do you now see game journalism? It is pure cancer. Like, no, I mean, I'm sorry, but like, there's IGN gameplay that went up recently where I congratulated it for a second because it's competent. Like that's purely why. They died a couple times in the video because it is a hard game, but like, you know, they didn't make people suffer through watching level 1 for a half an hour.
Well, and then there's like everybody being like, well, you don't have to watch it if you don't want to. It's like, that's not the issue.
No, yeah.
This is not...
It's a demonstration.
Yeah, this isn't the discussion. You know, I don't know. Well, and then there's... I don't know, this argument blew up in a really ugly way, where now it's like people are being accused of like elitism, and I think I am going to make that video, Mark.
You should. I agree.
Because there's this motherfucker, Dante, writer for I Don't Fucking Care. Like, where's the fucking article?
What was he a writer for?
That's a really good question. Nothing good. Fuck. Where is it? So, the article is like, video game culture needs to stop fetishizing skill. From
Oh, that was an actual article.
Yes.
I thought that was like a clickhole. I thought that was like a clickhole headline.
Nope. From Paste Magazine. From Dante Douglas, September 7th,
Give me that
2017.
link. Oh, I need to read this.
It's gonna get a video. It has to.
Oh God!
Because
I can't believe this is real.
This is the ugly way that this discussion evolves, unfortunately, where, like, people try to get to like the root of a problem, and they try to attack like an idea instead of like the people that are having those thoughts, in a weird way, which like you think you would want to do, but the way that it's handled here, it doesn't really work out that way. Where it's like, hey, you know, people are having a discussion about skill and like dexterity and shit like that. Y'all fucking YouTubers need to stop. Y'all fucking faggots on Twitter need to leave me the fuck alone. And it's stupid. This fucking Dante, like, okay. Nobody knew who Dante Douglas was before this post. And unfortunately...
Before he put the mask on.
Yeah, nobody cared who he was until he put on the mask. His name is not important. What's really important is what he's wrong about. It's... like, the thing is that there's like, once again, it's a weird distinction between good, like, there's shit, competent, and God. And everybody is muddying it with this shit. Where what I think Dante is trying to get at here is the discussion of that, the first two dimensions of that, where it's like, okay, this is a discussion between like what value your thoughts have when you're competent at a game versus when you're shit at a game. But the way that the word skill and all that is used, it almost brings it into the ratio of people who actually spend time and get good within an established meta. Which brings in an entirely different like section of people into the conversation. And when you just shotgun it with fucking stop fetishizing skill, it's fucking stupid, because there are way too many people that are just shit and don't even fucking play games that are, like, fucking talking about it. When, like, that's fine in context and need a variety of opinion. But when that's a vast majority of what you get, that muddies the waters in a very rough way. And that's what's being fucking... that's the danger of this mentality. Where it's like, if you're a games journo, your value comes in your communication skills and your ability to gain and retain information and credulity. As a journalist, that's what you need for the job. As a video games journalist, you need that more so. But, you know, to say that you don't have a need for things like basic fucking competency... for like this, what Dante has done...
For a demonstration, yeah.
Well, he's taken it out of that context.
Yeah. I just wanted to doubly emphasize that, though.
Yeah.
Just the simple sake, like, this is a demonstration. Please just at least be competent. That's all
like,
I ask.
but in terms of having an opinion, so now we're bringing it into the realms of criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, you fucking... like, you need to... like, if... here's the thing. I think that games in general are a very personal venture. It's less about the game as it is about you as a person. what you're willing to put into the game versus what you're going to get out of the game in terms of your efforts. And I think that somebody who, like, for some reason their brain, them as a person, does not gel with whatever the fuck Cuphead is. I think that that's an interesting discussion from, like, a personal angle. But if you were trying to, once again, if your criticism was meant to sway me whether or not the game was good, or whether or not the game was, like, whether or not it accomplished everything it set out to do, whether or not the game is even worth a purchase, this is the type of thing where I need to see that you have at least got a grasp on what you're talking about. And that's...
jump and press the shoot button.
That's what's important about it. And they don't fucking do it.
Oh, man, I guess I can't stop fetishizing skill, though.
I never will.
Oh my god. And I'm gonna. I've already gotten through half of it, and I'm already just like, wow, this guy, like, just totally.
Here's okay, Dante.
I don't know exactly what I have to add to this discussion here.
Dante Douglas. Dante Douglas, let me hit you with this. So as far as whether or not a player being competent at something has weight in terms of the validity of their opinion, let's break down what it takes to become good at something. So it takes place in two portions. There's you experimenting and, grinding out execution in a thing, in a vacuum, which that execution and that experimentation leads you to new discoveries about a game's system, or it's about the dexterity requirements to pull off a specific thing. From there, you actually go and play the game, and you fuck up, you make mistakes, or you encounter new problems. It's a big cycle of problem solving, discovery, and work put into success gotten out. And through that, you're going to figure out a bunch of shit about the game you're playing. You're going to discover and like I'm doing this now for Pyre in short portions because I can only handle that game for so many hours at a time. But I'm figuring out what goes into playing that game and whether or not it, at its highest difficulty, is actually fair. And to do that, I actually have to fucking, like, play it. And I don't mean that in the sense of, like, just mash buttons and play it for, like, the lowest common denominator. It means that I have to actively experiment with it to see where the game's breaking points are. And when I do that, it's a matter of what that actually means. And what it means for the game's balance, what it means for the requirements to beat the game at a certain difficulty, whether or not, like, there are just issues with the way the game is programmed, anything like that. That is all shit that you see expressed in a player's skill. Because it's not just dexterity, a lot of it is also knowledge intensive as well. BB and Dax can confirm what I'm saying. A lot of it, even in a game like Devil May Cry, is up in the head. It's what you know, it's about what you're expecting to happen next. And it's the same thing for speedrunning, it's the same thing for fighting games to different degrees. So, when you do all of that shit, there's an expectation that you have put in a certain amount of time and effort into your work. So yes, you as a skilled player are going to have a greater idea of what goes into a game, how it works, where its breaking points are, what works, what doesn't, as a skilled player in relation to a player who has just picked up the game for the first time. Your comments and criticism as far as what you perceive in a game as you're playing it for the first time pertains only to you in that moment. Which is to say, and BB, don't take offense to this, but when shit like Braska's final Aeon happens, that is a situation that you are placed in that moment of time, because that is based on your experience or lack thereof at the time that you encounter that problem. That's what that's what a lot of basic reviews are. They're based off of, at most, 2 playthroughs, sometimes not even a complete one. And that is what is fed into the discussion of what how a game system works, where its points of depth are, how much you can actually put in versus how much you can actually get out of it, how difficult it actually is, how easily broken it is, all of that shit. So the supposition that games, especially in the modern era with the aid of Let's Plays, streaming, and various other methods of content absorption without mechanical interaction, are no longer simply puzzle boxes to unlock knowledge of by solving. And this is all... what I'm reading is a quote directly from Dante Douglas's article, by the way. Games are stories, conversations between player and world, and conversations between designers and viewers. The act of play itself is but one method of experiencing what we call a video game in modern critical discussions. Here's the thing. You're right. Fucking games are a conversation. They are a story. It's about you. It's about what you're putting into it. It's about what you're learning, what you're doing. And also what you're fucking watching. That plays a part in it too. But you fucking hit me with this shit. And fuck you. No. See me when I make that fucking video. I beg you to at me. I double dog bet you to at me. Holy moly. Fucking Dante Douglas, everybody. Neck me. Neck myself so I don't have to reread this shit anymore.
Wow, what a fetishist.
That's another thing too. What's the problem? What's the problem with respecting people who put a shit? You know what? That's a reflection of your own dedication and love for a game. Am I wrong? Am I high? Did I slip into Rivia? Am I an Evilise? Fuck no.
I wish I was in Evilise. The bunny girls.
I would rather be sandwiched between Fran's ass cheeks than be anywhere near this bullshit fucking discussion.
Oh god, Fran's ass cheeks and Ash's ass cheek. Oh my god, yeah. And then
no, you can keep Ash. Just give me the black chick.
Oh, I want both. I want s'mores.
my boy with the when he goes to In-N-Out, he orders the Neapolitan milkshake. Yeah. That's... So, yeah, Cuphead. I don't know. I guess, like everybody, in fairness, people should have probably expected that this would have blown up into, like, some... And that's the thing. Okay, hot takes don't fucking matter at this point. Okay, way too many people are giving way too many shit hot takes. George, I'm looking at you. George, I'm glaring. Super bunny hop. Which is fucked, because, you know, what's funny is that in George's case, he's completely right. To be a good, like, because when you think about what he just, like, the story he broke about, not even broke, but what he covered about the tax allegations and shit like that.
Yeah, or the pachinko machines and shit.
Like, that hinges much more on his skills as a journalist in the storytelling sense.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's not the conversation we're having anymore. Because, you know, and, you know, I'll give him more credit. Having done some journalistic work myself, not games journalistic work, but just in general, there is a surprising amount of work that goes into the storytelling aspect, doing it well, and writing
absolutely.
and shit like
Language
that.
is such a huge part about it, yeah.
That's why when people want to know about the whole Taxman thing when it came to Sonic Mania, I always direct to that video.
Yeah,
because I think that's what he's good at.
And what's crazy is that, like, the skill discussion in relation to that should be seen as such a golden opportunity. It should be a gold mine for, like, basically infinite content. Because, like, when you think about what you're doing as a journalist, you're intaking information, you're processing it internally, and you're finding a way to communicate it effectively to a viewer. And if you think about how every game is perceived differently by a different person, a different player, with a different set of emotional tendencies, differences in player experience, skill, all of that shit. That is like a fucking you strike gold with that, because you have something that's you have your writing that's a reflection of you, and you also have your time with the game that is a reflection of you. Like, games journalists write, like, the only thing that I could think that could get as close to this is, like, critics or people who used to be in the industry that they used to cover, like when musicians become music critics, or when people leave the film industry and they start writing about their own shit, or people who leave teams, like sports teams, and they become analysts. Like, they have their own experience as well as what they're also intaking. It's personal. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's crazy that people are trying to, like, give a hard pass on this. It blows my fucking asshole out. Way more than Roberto's did. Way more Roberto's did.
I know this is like the sixth time. This is like the sixth time I'm bringing it up, but like, again, it really does lack value when isolated. I keep on bringing up this reason because, like, people have been trying to, like, find, like, good ways to compare it to something, and I think two of the best comparisons I've heard, and these, by the way, this is worthless because it's just comparisons. That's all it is. But I mean, like, when you want to bring it down to this, like, this whole, like, isolation thing. Like, if you were reading a tool magazine and some homie just doesn't know how to use a tool and he's talking about it or he's demonstrating it, it's not going to have much value. If you have someone who is unaware of, like, say they're trying to, like, demonstrate a gun
and they shoot themselves.
Well, not even that, but they're unaware of, like, say how how frequently something gets, like, jammed up or something like that, and they're like, yeah, turning out looks like this gun's probably going to be pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
And say other people are not that very knowledgeable, and they're like, wow, man, I'm going to get that gun, and then it just turns out to be like it's something that misfires, jams, it's awful, it's well known for being just like a giant piece of shit. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, these are extreme comparisons. That's why I said, comparisons, the whole comparison argument thing, it's shit and trash. But I mean, like, this is some of the best I've heard, because when you're trying to take this thing and you're trying to isolate it and say it has value on its own, no, it does not. It has value when paired up with other things, though. I completely agree about that.
Yeah. Like, it's, at best, you're looking at a decent case study of how, like, making no progress and just getting told to eat shit repeatedly can be an interesting, thought experiment for what a game is. Cool. Sick. Congratulations. You could have had that and also a complete review of a game.
Well, thankfully, whoever's going to review the game, they are, like Dean already said, like, some other guy at VentureBeat's going to be reviewing the game. It's not his forte to do so.
I guess the thing that I also want to clarify this. I don't want Dean to get fired over this. Anybody who's saying that he shouldn't be working in the industry when his job is not to be a reviewer, but it's rather B, to be a communicator, boy, stay off Twitter. Don't just not at me. Don't at anybody. Delete your account.
Oh, speaking of that, he winds up finding a way to bring it around to alt-right Gamergate Trump supporting.
So I read that comment from Terry, and I didn't know what the fuck he was on about. What is he talking about?
In Dean's blog, and this is where I stopped reading.
Yeah,
Dean's blog,
that's exactly where I stopped reading too.
Yeah, he okay. Let me get the paragraph. So he's making a decent point regarding his position in this whole thing, and then he says this. Another game journalist, in parentheses, he then says, and some say, shitlord, saw my video. He clipped it to the 2.5 minutes of the most damning, inept gameplay, and Dax brought up as well, like, it really wasn't the worst part of the stint, but it is a pretty bad part. And he says, and he posted it to his followers. He used me to condemn all game journalists, raising the smoldering issues around Gamergate and its focus on game journalism ethics. His post was political propaganda for the disenfranchised gamers, the sort who went from Gamergate to the alt-right and elected Donald Trump as president.
Okay. Whoa.
That's what I was like.
My man. Boy must be an Olympian with them fucking leaps, dude. Jesus Christ. My boy's got fucking boosties on. God
You
damn.
know what he's good at.
We just went from Bomberman to Bomberman Act Zero. It's like
We went from Guilty Gear to Accent Core Plus R real quick.
we went to
Emphasis
Guilty
on
Gear to
Plus R.
Izuka all the way to Overture.
Over.
My God,
Holy-
when the fuck did we hit Third Strike?
Also, side note, I just saw this on Twitter. Apparently, VentureBeat, the person who Dean writes for, is now sending DMCA's to people who are mocking his video.
Oh, good.
I should have to
That's
keep
that's a
that in
good
mind.
way. The
There are
Streisand.
screenshots. Yeah, you gaming journalists suck at games on this. Yep, taken on issue
From
by
Blaze
VentureBeat.
Blue to
You
Guilty
receive a
Gear.
copyright strike.
From Street Fighter to Uniel. We out here. You're gonna get sued. I know.
We're gonna get sued.
They're gonna take my house.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You know what you can do when you upload this VOD onto the
Mm.
YouTube. What you do is you replace the footage that you're playing here.
Yeah.
Really good footage, but it's like competent. You know, gets the point done. Just have that on loop.
Oh, Jack Bros followed you. That's nice of him. I still need to watch his FF10 video.
Oh, this Final Fantasy X video. Yeah,
Have you
it's
seen
good.
it?
Yes, I saw that weeks ago. Yeah.
I understand he put a lot of work into that. I hope he is happy with it. All right. So,
In a long time.
does anybody else have anything that they need to bring up in regards to the Cuphead debacle? I am completely okay with sitting here for another 12 hours.
I got nothing
Oh,
else to
that
say.
shit.
All right.
Hey, Lethal League's Blaze.
Oh,
really good
shit.
trailer.
That's not on here.
Blaze.
Oh
I was
my
actually
God.
gonna ask why the fuck that isn't on. Like, have we talked about that yet?
No,
No,
we have
no.
not. So, all right. Thank you. All right. Everybody. Lethal League. The fucking high speed fighting game that is more of a fighting game than Super Smash Bros. Melee
Hell yeah!
Is
Let's
out here-
fucking go, dude.
is out here. Team Reptile with the sequel Lethal League Blaze.
Everything about that entire thing, even the Team Reptile logo, and the fact that it's called Team Reptile, everything about that just like oozes Team Red, and I just think about Guilty Gear the entire
Why
time.
does this look so fucking good, dude? It's not
they give a
even
shit.
no gameplay. Why does it look so good? Oh my god. So okay, this is like I'm trying to think of a comparison point. Think of I don't know if I want to call it like going from like Ultra Lethal League, because it might be a sequel. I don't know. Here's how I understand it from reading the site. It is basically the same fundamental concept with more characters and more game modes. Lethal League Blaze. Seems to be a new art style. Supposedly, there are going to be some new soundtrack.
It's got a really good soundtrack.
So, the logo looks like Blaze Blue.
It actually,
Yeah.
that's the Playboy.
It looks so good, dude. I love that they're still working on this concept. I remember looking into the development of Lethal League and when they had that fucking browser game prototype, and into what Lethal League eventually became, and how it is now. That they're still working on it is like super cool. That tells me that they really wanted to fucking make this concept as good as it could have possibly been. So,
Oh yeah.
Lethal League Blaze. I'm so sad that it's coming out in 2018 because that means it might not be here in time for GDQ.
Yeah.
But at the very least, this is yet another game that makes 2018 look like it's shaping up really well.
Let's just fucking woo, woo. I'm
This
ready
year's
for
been
it.
great. Next year's looking really good.
Video games are saved, I think, officially. Lethal League Revelator.
Where do these games come from?
Lethal League Chrono Phantasma.
Bat set. Cool.
God,
plus R.
put fucking put one of these dudes in the cross tag battle.
Yo, put
That'd be
Raptor. Put
Raptor.
fucking Raptor into XR, dude. I would play the fuck out of it. He just beats up people with a fucking bat. Ooh, I'm so ready. This is the secret character that's gonna be put into Blaze Blue cross tag battles.
If they can get Ruby in there.
If they can get Ruby in there, they can get my boy Raptor. They can get Latch. Can't wait. This is so sick. I need to play Lethal League again.
It's a good video game.
We need to play Lethal League. Too many good fights.
Yeah, last time I played it was back when I bought a copy for you, me, Sam, and who else? I can't even remember who else.
Ian, I think you got a copy.
That's
for him
right.
as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Faust should be a guest.
That would be
Faust
cool.
going head to
God, I
head.
would hope they
Giant
have-
scalpel. Oh, that'd be sick.
That'd be so cool if they put like 2 guest characters in there.
Doombox. Can't wait, dude. The art style looks so fucking good. Hopefully this is actually more efficient for them as well.
Okay.
I hope. So, but yeah. Lethal League plays. More information as it comes on. So good. This is such a good timeline, dude. So, is there anything else? Does anybody, does anybody want to talk about the South Park race baiting?
I just think it's funny, and I
I
think
think
that
it's
anyone
funny.
that's taking it
It's
seriously is
funny.
retarded.
It's just a funny gag.
It's really
Yeah.
good. So, real quick, just so everybody knows, I'm gonna see if I can find it. Actually, we're not gonna fucking cover it. Fuck it. Basically, in South Park: The Fractured But Whole, when you make your character, the difficulty select determines how your skin pigment. If you go for very easy, you're a fucking cracker. If you go for hard, boy, you dark. And it's great. It's fucking smart.
It's funny.
It's fucking good. It's OD. I respect.
I
this.
love the people covering it saying like, "Holy shit, South Park Fractured Butthole's hot take on racial controversy and how spot on it is." What's funny is that this happens every single fucking time Trey and Matt make
Yeah.
fun of any political stance.
Mhm.
It's always like the left or the right are like, "Look at them, they're on our side." It's
Yeah.
like they make fun of all of you. You're all fucking retarded, and it's
so
not coming from
solid.
like a point. It's not coming from like a perspective of like, oh, my enlightened centrism. It's just them enjoying the fact that they make fun of everyone. That's all it is. God damn it! People stop taking it seriously.
No, we gotta double down. We gotta go further than we did before.
What's up is like one of my favorite examples because it's one of the most like blatant they've ever done. You remember when everyone in South Park became an atheist, and they just so happened to start eating turkeys up their ass so that they would shit out of their mouth every time they would preach atheism. And then at the end, when they're like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't become atheists and get angry at Jesus and God, and then Stan's dad has this whole fucking thing where he's like talking about how being religious is really just what they are all at the core. He still shits out of his mouth after that. As in saying the conversation is just fucking dumb and stupid. Just shut the fuck up.
Solid. So, yeah, that's South Park shit. Is there any other? I think the only other thing we didn't cover is the Indonesian or like the Malaysian freak out over Battle of Gods.
Oh yeah, the entire Steam store is now like
Like, have you ever posted a game so powerful that you just lost steam in an entire region, in an entire country? So real quick, because this was a recent piece of news. Battle of Gods is like a fucking or is it Fight of Gods or it's Fight of Gods? I apologize. That's a little awkward. So, Fight of Gods is the game you would expect it to be. It's like if Smite was a little bit shittier art-wise and was a little bit more edgy. It's pretty good. So what it's basically all about is you play as gods, and it's a fighting game. There you go. And because it has Buddha, Amaterasu, Odin, who else? Zeus,
Jesus.
Athena, Sif, Galguang, Anubis, Jesus. Like,
Boy.
oh my boy. Shout outs to the boy. Jesus. Comes in hot. He's got really good cross-ups, dude.
one of the people discovered that Buddha has a 100% combo.
What's really funny is that Jesus has an infinite where it's just you walk up and do crouching light, and then you walk up again and do crouching light, and that kills. It's an infinite. It's an infinite off a low light hit confirm. It's beautiful. It's so good. And apparently this is just too much for Malaysia. They can't deal with it. So they're like, Steam, Gabe, buddy, no. So they just block it. I don't know when the fuck. It's so good. I haven't played it because it honestly looks a little jank.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's just funny. It's really funny. I love the way they frame it. One final challenger arises. It's just Jesus. What's funny is that, like, everybody was waiting for Smite to have the balls to do it, where they would just be like, hey, guys. It's fucking, we brought in Jesus. And they never did. And they got usurped. Hi-Rez got fucking beaten hard.
I like the logo for Fight of the Gods.
Yeah, the key art for it actually looks quite nice.
Shame the animations are fucking garbage.
I mean, hey. I mean, I like to think that they knew that their time was limited, and they were like, fuck, guys.
Yeah, probably.
Everybody's gonna hate us, and Hi-Rez might actually release Jesus. We don't have much time. Quickly. Who would be the puppet character? Who's the Carol?
Who's the Mokujin?
Yeah.
Hmm.
The Son of God. Solid. All right. So that is all the news. That is everything. Now it is time for viewer questions. So people, I gotta be honest with you. I forgot to ask for viewer questions yesterday. So, I woke up and I was like, fuck, I gotta tweet. And the questions we got are what we got. So, while I sort of scrounge for other ones, this is a continuation. This is, I think, the final part of... So, here's what you can do, right? On the screen right now. At VashTSB, go ahead and follow me. If I ever fucking remember to ask for viewer questions again... that'll be where I ask for them and you just reply to the tweet. So, if you are in chat and you have a question, because we only have 3, go ahead and drop one, and if I like it, I'll fucking ask it. There you go. So, this is a continuation of a question that bloomed sort of into a multi-parter. So the first one was, what is your favorite top 3 Western OSTs? Then after that, we hit it up with the top 3 Eastern OSTs. Now it's time. Now it's time for the final one, the final incarnation. What are your top 3 OST remixes? Remix albums. So, and we can also include albums that are claimed to be inspired by an OST or a game. We can throw that in there as well. So, I thought about this one for a couple minutes. And I'm thinking... Yeah, it's a tough one. These OST questions are always really rough because there's so many good ones. Why?
No, I have a couple. I want to choose like one in particular that I think is like much better than the other. I'm trying to think here. It's like it's basically like an orchestration of Yoko Shimo stuff like Dramatica and Memoria. They have a lot of good remaster or orchestrated or like put to piano Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts stuff. Some really good stuff in there, trust me.
Right. Okay.
There's even some stuff that she's done, so but yeah. Really, really good. That's like one of my favorites for sure. It doesn't remaster mix the whole thing, but like it's definitely a like remix of sorts.
What would it be? What would it be? So for mine, I would have to go with the near jazz arrange, the first jazz arrange done by Sean Skafanaski, I think is how you pronounce it. But so there's 2 jazz arranges. I did them as an album of the week, but now that I'll probably rerun it for next week because we did the reset. By the way, for those of you who don't know, the headcanon is that we are in Bonfire lit Shippuden. So all the old albums are available for grabs again because I just started cataloging the ones that I used previously. So now there are going to be no more repeats. There you go. Congratulations. We did it. And I'm going to go as long as I can without throwing out an Aesop Rock album. So, but I would go with the Near Gestalt and Replicant Jazz Arrange, the first one. And then I would go with the Persona 4 Nevermore Reincarnation. Because that has... like, as far as remix albums go, it's really good when you have the lead composer doing the tracks over again. And for Shoji Megaro's work in the Reincarnation, Homeboy came through with like the best version of Heaven I have ever heard, and it's like a really chill jazz arrange. There's a very like the track Smile, when you actually hear it in Reincarnation, it does what it says on the tin. You hear it and it's just so fucking happy you have to smile. It works. It's good. So, number 1, number 2. I'm still thinking on number 3. So, does anybody else have theirs picked out?
Yeah, one of them is very predictable. Very predictable. Obviously, Persona 4 Nevermore Reincarnation. Easily earns a spot on there. It's fantastic. I've had that on my playlist for quite a long time now. To accompany it, Majora's Mask Theophany.
I thought you were going to go with Theophany. Okay.
Yeah. It has some of my... honestly, I like it more than the actual Majora's Mask soundtrack itself. I love Theophany. And lastly, Street Fighter 3 Second Impact. Because I do love Third Strike's soundtrack as well, but I also really, really enjoy and sometimes even prefer the more...
Pokey? Oh no. Are you there?
Did I dead?
No, I deaded. We're back. I lived, bitch. Oh wait.
So are we all dead?
No. You're there. You're alive.
Okay.
Some weird net issues. Maybe the storm is finally here. I don't know.
Could be the camel spiders.
Okay, but I can't. All right, you are there. All right, good. So you picked Theophany, Persona 4 Reincarnated, and what?
Street Fighter 3 Second Impact.
Okay. So Dax is muted because he's a bitch. BB.
What a jerk.
My boy, you gave me 1.
I did give you 1.
I'm asking for tres. Dry.
Yes, okay. Alright. Numero dos. This one's also pretty predictable for me. It's called Project Destati. And it's an entire fan remix of a lot of Kingdom Hearts stuff, just in general.
Okay.
Here, I'll put a fucking link in Twitch chat actually. Stuff. They kind of like go in albums. So Light is like a lot of the more heroic themes and stuff like that, and then I guess they're working on Volume 2, which is Darkness, and that's going to come out soon. I don't know when, but soon. And then number 3, I guess, would... I remember when I listened to this first, I was just like blown away that people could actually do this, but this is back when I was like super... I don't know. When I was... It'd be like a sophomore in college or something like that. And it was like Twilight Symphony from ZREO. And that kind of like spawned a bunch of different like reimagining symphonies of like the Zeldas. So like this original one was like a reimagining of Twilight Princess OST, and now there's like stuff for Wind Waker and Majora's Mask Ocarina of Time. But like I'm a big fan of the original Twilight Symphony. So yeah, those are my 3.
Okay. Now that I think about it, I'm sort of torn between the Xenogears Humans plus Gears, and Nier's Echo.
Yeah, you're talking about the OC remix one, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to Xenogears, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one.
That was a really good one. Shit. That's the thing. I need someone to cover, but Dax is dead. Fuck.
Ah.
I gotta pick now. There's no time.
Pressure's on.
More stalling. Infinite stalling. I keep doing Marth's forward air. I don't know what the fuck that spike move is that he stalls with. I don't know.
I keep on making clone characters in my roster.
I keep on releasing Abigail. I will never stop stalling.
The Deus Ex remix album on OC Remix is also really good.
That it is. Shit. You do. What do you do when God abandons you?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's his side B? Okay. Thanks, bud. Wait, doesn't that count? Oh, side B. I was about to be like, isn't that... isn't that his forward tilt? I definitely don't play that shit. I'm gonna go with Nier Echo for the last one.
Choice.
Because it's a very, it's very collaborative. Like, that's the thing that's great about all these remix albums, is that they bring in a lot of different talents to just, completely remake or make something completely different with it. Take songs in directions that you didn't think were there the first time, and that's what's good about them. Dax is still dead. Next question. Where is it? Was there no gameplay for a few minutes?
No, I've been seeing Tekken 7. Era's playing Tekken 7.
There you go. Alright. Where is it? Where are the viewer questions? No. Yes. Alright. This one comes from @TheCrazyEvan on Twitter. He asks, what are the best pizza toppings? This one's a bit of a simple question, but it's difficult. There's a skill ceiling to it. Easy to learn, hard to master.
I already know some of my favorites.
I'm picking between two setups here. So, best pizza toppings, if I were to make the dream pizza, the Dreamza, that bitch has got to have sausage, pepperoni, bacon, and mushrooms. Thin-cut mushrooms, very thin-cut mushrooms, because if you get thick, that's where you're going to take some damage. So that's mine. Another alternative is gotta be the barbecue sauce pizza with the motherfucking chicken and bacon. There you go. No, okay, thank you. Somebody brought up the shit topic. Alright. After this, we're gonna hit with what's the worst pizza toppings.
Alright. Well then, first of all, Dr. Irony. You've already predicted one of my choices. Buffalo chicken pizza is one of the best pizzas to ever exist. It is a pizza I can literally never grow tired of. There's something about the taste of buffalo sauce that just is something that will infinitely remain a delicious taste for me, just for me personally. That's whether or not and there's different ways you can even prepare it as well. So buffalo chicken pizza, obviously buffalo sauce is used rather than red sauce. And obviously mozzarella cheese is the cheese of choice. Sometimes I've seen and have delighted in the mozzarella cheese is mixed with also American cheese. So it gives a little bit of an extra tangy taste. And sometimes the buffalo sauce is mixed with a pinch of honey, just a pinch, not too much, just enough for you to be able to taste some honey, but it's not sweet. So that within itself is just fucking delicious. And of course, I can leave or I can take blue cheese on the matter. Sometimes I prefer it, sometimes I don't. Whether if it's crumble or liquid with crumble, it doesn't really matter. I like both. And of course, the chicken itself. can be prepared in 2 different ways that I adore. First of all, there's just, hey, it's just some chicken on the fucking pizza. They just got some chicken bits and they toss it on there. I have only one time tasted and really fucking enjoyed the chicken bits were deep fried before tossed onto the pizza itself, and holy shit, that was great. The only reason why I've never requested to have that again is because I can swear to Christ, if I were to have that for a second time, it would kill me on the spot.
Right.
God, but it was delicious. So buffalo chicken pizza, definitely one of the best. Another one that I really enjoy is cheesesteak hoagie pizza.
What?
Cheesesteak hoagie pizza.
What? What?
Yeah. So,
Nani.
Do you know what a cheesesteak hoagie is itself?
It's just like a cheesesteak on a hoagie roll, right?
With also, like lettuce and tomato.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, okay.
Yeah, that's where the hoagie elements come in. Is they also add in like lettuce and tomato and shit. Sometimes onions. So a cheesesteak hoagie pizza is literally fucking that. So you got the pizza crust. The sauce is not really there. It's more of a white pizza. Sometimes they'll put like a thin layer of mayo. Like not globs of fucking disgusting, like, super tart mayo. I'm just talking about like a thin slice that's sort of like, like a thin layer of mayo that's like, it's just sort of there to really emphasize the other flavors.
Right.
And then, they'll mix mozzarella and American cheese to melt it over on top. And then, or no, actually, most of the time it's typically just American cheese, but sometimes they'll mix the mozzarella and American. I like the mix of mozz and American. And then they'll put like fucking cheesesteak. They'll put lettuce, tomato, onion, and that's that. It's really fucking good. Love cheesesteak hoagie pizza.
That sounds
my
solid.
shit.
That sounds solid. I'd fuck with that. BB. You were given a pizza. Right. Build your own.
Have you guys ever like substituted marinara sauce with like sour cream? Because that shit's like fucking fantastic.
It sounds good, but I've not tried it.
Where the fuck are all these people coming? Like, I remember the days when this shit got as complex as pepperoni or sausage. I don't know. The fuck is this sour cream shit, boy?
No, seriously, it's actually really dope. We have like a local place in Lawrence that does it. That's literally just like, hey, you want to just like replace the, like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll try a weird ass sour cream. And then once you do it, you're just like, wow, what the fuck have I been doing all my life? I can picture the sour cream pixie just came down. It was just like, boop, there you go, and it was fantastic. It was amazing.
Sounds like something you do for a taco pizza. Like, it just makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't make sense to me at first, like when I tried it, but then like it just, you can't live without after that point. But like if we're just going like, I don't know, more standard toppings, I'm a big fan. I know a lot of people don't like black olives. I'm a fan of black olives. It doesn't have to be a lot, but like black olives are definitely a plus for me. That with some fucking pepperoni, fucking like red and green peppers, like some bacon, and that's like it. Maybe you can like put sausage in there. You can not put sausage in there. I don't really care too much, but like that, and just like, a nice ass crust, not a shit ton of fucking cheese. I don't want I don't want to be drowning in cheese, like just like the standard amount. Just that's a good ass pizza. I'll definitely eat it, the whole thing, for sure.
I'd hit that.
Now let's reverse it.
I've had so many pizzas with just so much cheese, just like an excessive, disgusting amount of cheese, and I just don't get it. I'll never understand.
I can appreciate extra cheese, specifically only under the condition of red sauce pizzas, just because like I feel like it complements it well.
You have to balance it out, but these fuckers just think, oh yeah, dude, cheese is the fucking bee's knees, dude. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. You fucking Balance the shit out, dude. God damn it.
Barbecue pizza.
Balance your fucking games.
You know, Wrath is right. Barbecue pizza is the best. Now that we're talking, now that Skate for a Living is here, we can talk about really shit things. It's appropriate that he's here for this. So now let's talk about the worst pizza toppings that we have. I'm going with black olives.
Oh well, I understand.
Cherry tomato. What else? Oh yeah, pineapple.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm sorry, you know.
Man, where is?
I wish he was here. I'm trying to summon him.
Just like, you would think that would summon him. It would just be an auto summon.
I'm performing the summoning jutsu right now. He is not appearing. He's dead. But yeah, fucking what else? Here's the thing. We have to admit the ones that we haven't had. Okay, artichoke hearts are not good. That's just my personal thing. I'm not a big crazy guy for fucking artichoke hearts, but fucking I've not had anchovies. That is the thing I've not done yet. What else? That's really about it. I've not had an egg on a pizza.
I've never had egg pizza myself. Man.
What else have I not had? Leeks? Not had leeks. A lot of vegetables. I don't fucks with a lot of vegetables. So, but yeah.
Interesting.
That's definitely the bottom. The shit tier list is it's got to be black olives, any sort of like thick tomato, and onion. I'm not a big fan of onion and pineapple. There you go. Boom. There's your tier list. Meat go on the pizza, and a mushroom. Mushroom go on a pizza too.
Yeah, there's baked eggs on pizza. I've never had it myself, but that is a thing.
Yeah, apparently it's fucking really good.
I'll try it one day. I'm not opposed.
What's the thing? Everybody's like fucking like egg on a hamburger, egg on a fucking pizza. You know, like I've had
eggs and bacon pizza, dude.
I'll try it. I'll try it one of these days. If I find a place that does it, I'll give it a shot. I'll give anything a shot once, including getting shot by a gun.
Yeah.
I'll give that a whirl.
Just like Will Smith.
Just like Will Smith.
It was an episode of The Fresh Prince. Got shot.
Solid. So that's my bottom.
I'll go next. So there's very few pizzas that I've ever eaten that have not really tickled my fancy. So I tried anchovy pizza before.
Okay.
And I'll say this, the first few bites weren't bad.
I
was like, okay, I can kind of see where this is going. But the more I ate it, the more I was gradually despising it. And it just wound up being like a really bad, it left a really bad taste in my mouth. Just too fishy. And like, I can understand people that like super fishy taste, but I'm not someone into super fishy taste. It's why when I eat fish, I prefer smoked fish. Lox, salmon, shit like that.
Yeah.
Smoked whitefish, because it takes a lot of that pure fish taste and masks it in something more charcoaly, and I prefer that. So anchovy, did not like it. Now here's the thing: I've had Hawaiian pizza before, and truth be told, when I ate it, I was like, it's not as bad as I thought. Now here's the thing, though: I would still never prefer to eat it. Because, like I said, one of the reasons why I really enjoy, like, when a buffalo chicken pizza puts, like, a touch of honey into the buffalo sauce before mixing the buffalo sauce onto the base, is because you don't taste the sweetness, but you taste the hint of the honey. And just the hint of the honey is enough. And I told you I've had a barbecue pizza before that I didn't really enjoy too much because they used a sweeter, more brown sugary brand of barbecue sauce. As opposed to a more, like sort of spicier, more steak-based barbecue sauce. And the thing is, like with pineapple pizza, specifically Hawaiian pizza when they include the ham and all that shit, it's okay, it's edible, but I can't prefer it because the pineapple is too sugary. It's too sweet. It's kind of like putting candy on top of pizza, and it's not terrible, but it's just definitely something I don't prefer. So I don't like it. And that's my political dancing around on eggshells perspective on what I feel are the
Your
worst
favorite pizza is shit.
pizza topping. Mm.
I got no reservations.
Mm.
So, BB.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pineapple's bad.
Thank
I
you.
don't know, dude.
Thank you. Holy moly.
It's not good.
It's really
like,
bad.
okay, so the one time where I was like, this is doable. This is like somewhat enjoyable is when you fucking replace the ham from a Hawaiian pizza and you put bacon. Bacon and pineapple I can do. It's actually not that bad. It's okay. That's what Dax did once before, and it's pretty good. It's okay. I'll definitely eat it if I'm hungry. It's fine. But I definitely would not fucking prefer putting pineapple on pizza. I just don't. When I'm eating a pizza, I just don't want to. I don't want it to be so fucking sweet.
Yeah.
That's just kind of that's my deal. Yeah. I don't know.
You know, I'm open to giving it a shot.
With a crust, cheese, and it's nice and warm and shit. Like, why would I want pineapple? I don't get it.
I'm open to giving it a shot with like barbecue sauce, if it's a sweeter barbecue sauce. I'm cool with giving that a shot. But on like red sauce, boy, come on. Like there are just some flavor combos that like God didn't invent that. That's definitely a not so bueno creation. So, just got to get that out there. All right. Oh, also, to @skate for a living, how can we forget about the always forgotten toppings of meatball and salami? Meatball pizza, to me, and don't take this the wrong way, Skate, like, it's too close to just being ground beef on pizza, which I've had before, and it's okay, but something about it isn't right. Something about it doesn't feel right. I don't know what it is. Like, I'll fuck with sausage, but, like, meatball, I would rather just have spaghetti at that point, I would think. But as far as salami goes, places around here don't really put salami on that shit. And it's the thing is that salami is the type of deli meat that doesn't occur to me exists. I don't think of it like that. I think of, like, I have to be reminded actively that salami exists. So, yeah. There you go. That's how. And you answered your own question. How can we forget about them if they're always forgotten? Thank you. How about this? When we come out for GDQ, bud, we can definitely have some fun times. Ordering some pizza.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh hell yeah. So, I think this might be the last question.
Pineapple's really good in whiskey.
Is it?
Yeah,
really?
Pineapple is one of their favorite fruits, but not on pizza. I've had pineapple in whiskey and pineapple in vodka. It's really tasty.
So, I think there's a question here that I selected that's gonna take a little bit too long to actually go in. We've already been casting for like 3 hours. So let's wrap this one up with this one. So this one's from Bazzy2077 on Twitter, who asks, and this is an older one, but what are some games that changed your opinion about the game after a replay?
I know one very specific that I can utilize.
I have one that I can think of, yeah.
I feel like I'm misunderstanding the question. So, like, a second playthrough of the game
changed your opinion.
And your opinion changed on it, yeah.
See.
Maybe you liked it at first, and then you played it a second time, and you're like, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's.
Oh, I mean that one's so obvious. Oh my god.
What?
That's so obvious.
Birth by Sleep.
Yeah, dude, are you kidding me? Oh my god. It's like a legend, dude, for me. Like it's so fascinating because that's what Osaka Team does. Like you guys, I mean, we've talked about Osaka Team enough.
Yeah.
I think you guys are aware, right, that they're the ones that develop the later shittier games. So it's really impressive. It's a skill that Osaka Team has. I don't know how they develop it, but they just really know how to make a game that works well on your first playthrough. That just like at very face value, just the first time you encounter it, you'll think, there's some interesting things going on. This is actually like kind of fun. And then the more you play it, the more you hate it. Or you just notice, like, wow, this is really fucking stupid. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, they expected this to, like, work out, but then, like, you get people that are just like, yeah, dude, I played it for the first time, and it was just, like, so fucking fascinating, because there was just all this stuff, and, like, it just, you know, it worked, and I had fun and shit, and that plus the gay story and the actually good soundtrack just
Aqua's a bitch.
makes it all work out.
Ven's a little faggot. Terra's a big bitch.
Terra's a retard, dude. It's actually incredible.
Damn, hitting him with the special.
Terra's just, he is, dude. Someone needs to help this man. Someone get the fucking bus.
What was Xehanort doing, dude?
Get
He was
the wheelchair.
What do you think fucking the Keyblade glider is, dude? Fucking Ericus made the Keyblade armor and the Keyblade glider specifically for Terra, but didn't want to make it obvious that it was for the Tard reason, so he gave it to Ven and Aqua.
I gotta give it to my other.
Gotta make it. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna say, Terra, my boy, you're gonna hurt yourself. You need armor. You're gonna fucking kill yourself. So
Ericus wasn't worried about Finn leaving the island or the world. He was worried about Terra going out on his own.
He was worried about Terra
tard.
just hitting his fucking head against a wall with no protection, no helmet on. It's really all in the helmet. That's why when Vanitas runs down with the Keyblade, just fucking slices through Aqua's armor, it's because it's not meant to do shit, it's all in the helmet. So, okay, for you, that's definitely gonna be
a game that because I when I was a kid, I loved Birth by Sleep when it first came out, because like that was like a point when I thought that Kingdom Hearts could do no wrong, and that game came out on PSP, and I fucking got the PSP. And I played that game. The first playthrough I thought was like super fucking dope, and I was playing it with all my friends and shit. And just the more like it probably like was my. It took like the second or third playthrough, I think, for me to realize like, wow, I hate this. I hate this so much, dude. This is awful. I became woke in that moment. I was like, wow, dude, video games can be really bad.
The second playthrough really red-pilled me.
It was a red pill moment, dude.
As soon as I started up the second file, my browser became possessed and just opened up to pull.
It was the second playthrough, and then I hit like fucking Disney Town, and that's when I realized that this game was not good. That was the red pill moment. I had to go to fucking Disney Town again, and I'm just sitting there trying to. The red pill moment is in. It's on YouTube. It's that the fucking Birth by Sleep playthrough that I did on my YouTube channel. Like you take episode 1 of that playthrough where I'm just like happy as could be, and then you take like fucking episode 50 or whatever, and it's just this dramatic change. It's like a character arc just happened.
It's like, you know, those shots of Samurai Jack in the reboot when he's just fucking sad as shit.
The beard's just grown out. It's just
he's killed somebody. Oh god. All right, so Pokey Desu.
Ooh, man. So like,
yeah,
there's a couple games I could think of, but I really want to emphasize 2 specifically. The 2 that come to mind that I feel the strongest about my heel turn was A, Airgies, God Bless the Ring, and B, The Bouncer. The reason why I want to emphasize those games is because they're both Square games.
Okay.
Which I just thought was one of the most interesting things, like, because first of all, Airgies had me enamored when I was way younger because, Cloud Strife and Tifa Lockhart, you know, hell yeah, dude, Final Fantasy characters in a fighting game, except, you know, it's a shit fighting game. That's a part of the issue. And I had completely forgotten how bad the fucking menu sound effects were until 2 best friends played it eventually later on. And then, and by the way, when I had already replayed the game before then, I had pretty much like all sound muted because I had emulated it for, you know, my additional ROM through the game. So, you know, I was just playing through and just like, what the hell is this? Like, it's like the most overpowered thing you can do in there is just sort of like run in a circle and then just come in for a kick slide. Do that repeatedly, and you can just kill anything in the ring, in that ring that God has blessed. It is such a trash game. Airgeese fucking sucks. Now, the Bouncer was also another one of those revelations for me, because when the Bouncer originally came out, I was, again, enamored by it. Everyone makes the funny joke, haha, Scion is the proto Sora. I really enjoyed Scion's design back then. I look at it now, and I'm not a big fan of it. Aside from the hair, I think his hair thing's kind of okay. But the fact that he has like the he's got the bandage on his cheek, like fucking fuck, Ja Rule, was he the one that did that? I can't remember who it was. It was someone. Anyway, the whole entire fucking, first of all, the game not that fun. It's well animated, but the actual combat is sluggish and boring and repetitive, and most of the stages, not every stage, but a majority of the stages are basically just giant metal sheets. There's some really cool parts in the early part, like you know, there's like in the early parts of the game, there's like some cobblestone areas that you could fight in, which are really cool because, you know, they're like outside in the city. So when, you know, you're out in the city and you got a cobblestone ground, it's like a really nice aesthetic. The first fight you even have is in the fucking bar, which is cool. But then eventually you get to the point where, you know, you're chasing after your girlfriend who's captured by this evil corporation. And in said evil corporation, of course, it's an evil corporate building just filled with giant gray hallways and giant gray boxes and Jesus fucking Christ. So that got me woke as fuck. Now, the reason why I was enjoying it a lot way back in the day, again, I'm coming back to the aesthetic. And that not even just like the fact that all the hallways are boring and I might have found them good looking back in the day, but more so the fact that when Bouncer released, it was one of the most gorgeous games to premiere during that time period. It was one of those games where when a lot of people were touting the power of the Xbox, shitheads like me who didn't really understand, you know, CPU power and shit like that, you know, we'd point to the Bouncer and be like, the fuck you talking about? The PS2 can be just as good, because the PS2 at that time period when the Bouncer came out really was just as good looking as anything out on the Xbox.
Right.
The Xbox had more room, you know, had more headroom for growth. So as time went on, more Xbox games were coming out that looked a hell of a lot better than anything that was out on the PS2. PS2, of course, games had to win through visual style rather than, you know, pure processing power. But yeah, like that was one of the things. The Bouncer was just sort of the fuck yeah, man, my PS2 is a powerful machine kind of game. But then, you know, when you really take a step back and look at it all, compile it, and it's like, it's like it had some good production values, but that's really just about all it had. So the Bouncer was a game that I went back to and I fucking hated. Airgeese was a game that I went back to and fucking hated. Funnily enough, Final Fantasy XII was a game that I went back to and I wound up loving. Yeah, because I hated it my first time through. And then everyone already knows the Bayonetta thing. I didn't like Bayonetta at first. Until, you know, I actually gave it a fair shot when Bayonetta 2 came out.
I'm trying to think. So here's why the biggest disappointment upon replay is actually Pyre. So, my first playthrough, I thought the game was really fucking interesting, that it had a lot of potential. And I couldn't wait to go through on New Game Plus. And then I realized there was no New Game Plus. And that was when things started to feel a little bit wrong. And then, upon replay, I did the fail-through. The fail-through is, as it is described, so in Pyre, you can fail, technically, you can lose every right, and you can give silent options for most things. And it was only during the fail-through that I realized how little the choices I made and how well I played actually mattered. So, you can lose every right completely, and you won't get kicked out of the Nightwings. Even though, like, Big Revolutionary Man will comment on the fact that you keep fucking losing once, and then he drops it forever after that point. But even then, you can go all the way through the game, lose everything, and the outcome on the outside world that you're attempting a revolution on is effectively the same. So it doesn't matter what you do, the new Sahiran Republic will be established regardless of your actions. I was so when I saw that when I read that shit, I was fucking laughing. I had the most confused look on my face. Oh,
I remember
boy.
lots of anger.
I was pissed.
Yeah.
I routinely got upset at that game. And all of that shit would have never been known if I had never had the idea of replaying it. I'm on my 4th playthrough now. It definitely didn't do the game any favors. Oh well. But yeah, that's and it's not like I had a fucking super glowing opinion on the game, but I saw a lot of potential in it. And I thought that it might have had the depending on how it handled the fail through, it could have really taken its potential and gone all the way with it. But nope. No, not really. So there you go.
That's what happens with those sport ball games.
Yeah. Everybody.
I don't know what you were expecting out of FIFA.
You're right. I really should have just stuck with Tony Hawk.
Just play Rocket League, dude. That's the real sport.
So, that is it. That is the last topic of discussion for the podcast. All right. I should probably start looking for people to host while the questions are going on, so I don't have to draw attention to the fact that I'm looking for somebody to host. Who is streaming right now?
Yo, Skate, I hope that you're enjoying the 3DS and that it actually, like, works and shit.
Yeah, Skate. I'm happy that you ducked me when I offered to watch Smash with you. So you could sit in your comfy living room with your comfy chair and watch Melee. When you could have been in your computer chair watching Melee with me. Thank you. Oh, let's fucking host Jaywong's stream, because Jaywong is letting Flash Metroid run that shit. So, cool. We're gonna go take you guys over to some Street Fighter V. So you all can go enjoy that shit.
I'm not gonna save Street Fighter V.
It's never gonna save Street Fighter V. So
nothing can save it, but makes it a lot better.
I mean, Guilty Gear is here, so we don't really need that. But you know, call you when all the good European or American Guilty Gear streams are on. Flash Detroit. I fucking love Flash. Dude, he paid it off. Fuck you, Ed. It's good. I'm happy. I love Flash. So, see you guys later. Thanks for the cast. Good shit. Peace.
Peace.
Alright. We're good. We are fucking good. We are Gucci in the building. God damn.
God. The douchebag himself is playing.